Mother, man.
This is Catherine Ramsland, and you're listening to Murder Metal Mayhem.
Spreading faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder Metal Mayhem! What the fuck's up, guys? It's fucking
What's
Tuesday,
going on,
man.
Pete? Tuesday night, once again.
You know
Once
it.
again, how's it going, Cashman?
Oh,
He's
he's
thirsty.
in mid-drink there.
Yeah.
He's thirsty.
My bad. I wasn't
We were
looking
getting ready
your
to
way.
get talking. I had to make sure my gullet was watered.
That's
yeah,
right.
fuck yeah.
That's right. We're doing that Tuesday thing, episode 104 tonight, guys. Man, it's just crazy to just see them piling up
Keep
after
on
we
trucking.
hit 100. So
Keep on trucking, Jesse. Keep on trucking.
we got a good one on tap though tonight. One that some of you may not be familiar with, but as a father, and as you mentioned in the pre-show stuff,
Right.
Chris, and the Facebook Live, any fathers out there, anybody with a fucking decency, in them can just find a way to cheer for this son of a bitch tonight,
fucking
man.
right, dude.
Some vigilante justice going down in Louisiana.
down
So
with it.
kind of crazy. And as you said, we got Joey Goremonger in here in the studio with us again tonight. So how's everything going, Joey?
Doing well.
Awesome. I know in the metal segment, I'm anxious to hear about your trip
Yeah.
to North Carolina.
Yep.
And you've got one coming up this weekend in North Dakota or South Dakota? South
Yep.
Dakota. So, yeah, that's really cool. And definitely want to catch our listeners up with that.
Hell
So,
yeah.
very cool. Last week was a good one, guys, on Joel Rifkin.
Fuck
That was
yeah.
a kind of a personal thing. I think all three of us just wanted to fucking talk about that
Yeah.
sick bastard, man.
Because he
It's
did
a
some
good one.
fucked up shit.
He did. He did. Long Island, New York, murdered 17 prostitutes from 1989 to 1993. So definitely a brutal one. And, you guys listened to it in droves, though. We passed 1,000 listens at the time of this recording. And we had Joey in here with us to talk about it, which was very cool since you were the one, Joey, that mentioned to us, hey, why don't we do Rifkin?
Hell yeah.
And CK, of course, did his segment on the Cro-Mags, which was fucking cool. And we had some new Mayhem stories, of course, the Killer Cage match and the usual craziness. So it was a good one. So if you missed it, go check out episode 103.
Go back and listen.
That's right. Now, tonight we're going to be doing a feature on a case that some of you may not be familiar with. A guy by the name of Gary Plauche, kind of a French-sounding name, is the guy who took justice into his own hands with a gun, and he shot the man who kidnapped and raped his son, Jody. He was being led through the airport, being brought back.
Dude,
and-
it's fucking, it's so bad. The video is just like,
it's
oh, fuck,
crazy because there was a local news crew there ready to shoot this as they were
As they're
bringing
bringing
him
this-
back from
right.
California.
And he found out what time it was going to be. And
That's
like,
right.
"Papa."
And he was there with a gun in an airport, of course, way before 9/11.
Yeah, there ain't no way that this happened now.
No.
I mean, I guess you could probably figure
It's
out a way. but
anything's possible,
Not
I
as
guess.
simple as fucking he did.
No,
it, though.
because he was just sitting there hanging out on the payphone
Yeah,
and
dude,
just
just
whack,
chilling.
whack. So it's a good story. Definitely, if you're a parent or anybody, like I said, with a fucking shred of decency, will be cheering this one on tonight. So it's going to be a good one. And so it happened in '84. So some of you guys may not be familiar with it, but it has made its rounds on the internet. And it's definitely a thought-provoking subject of the whole vigilante thing,
Definitely, yeah.
What do you think, I mean, of course you cheer them on, but then you could see that crowd mentality can go fucking haywire.
Yeah,
And,
who knows what could have happened. He
somebody
could've got
without a
shot.
trial,
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's the fucked up thing about it. We'll talk about it. And you suggested this one, Chris. Definitely a good one, man.
Yeah, I just randomly came across a video on like a true crime page I'm on
Yeah.
Facebook or something. I
It
saw the
happens
video.
to me all the time,
And I'm just
you
like,
know.
what the fuck is that? And then I started looking. I'm like, yeah, let's do
Oh,
this
yeah.
shit. This is fucking awesome.
There's been so many I found that way, like on YouTube, where it's got, they know what you watch, so they're putting
Suggestions and shit.
and there are always these fucked up serial killer docs on my fucking
Yeah, you're like,
feed on
"Goddamn."
YouTube. It's pretty funny.
And they showed this one, the Gary Plauche video on one of the traces of death.
Right.
Like back in the day.
Back in the day, VHS style.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it was so hard to tell back then which of those were real and which of them were fake.
Right.
So
Sure.
many of them were proven, phony.
Right.
So it's like, man, which are which and which are...
And now you know for sure this one's
Right.
real as shit.
that one's real. And, there were other ones like Senator...
Oh, yeah. What was his
Oh,
name?
that guy that shot himself
Right.
on
Yeah, like
camera.
in front
That
of
was
it.
fucked
That was
up.
and that
fucked
was
up, dude.
real,
Yeah,
So
that was fucked
It was
up.
hard to tell, but there was another cool one. Well, Face of Death would do fell from the parachute into the water with the gators. It was
Right.
it was
Yeah.
fucking not
That would
really-
actually be a funny bonus episode, is talk about faces, of death.
That would be a
That'd be
classic.
badass,
Yeah.
man. We could run
Oh,
through
yeah,
some
dude.
of it. Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, we got CK ready to go on Wildman Street over there in Danbury, Connecticut. He's going to be talking about the band Acid Bath,
Fuck
man.
yeah.
Justin,
You're gonna
when
go
he was
camping
in
and have an
here,
acid bath.
that's right. Justin was when he was in here co-hosting with us. He was talking about it and was been wanting CK to do Acid Bath now for quite a while. I actually had a few listeners comment
Suggesting
saying
do Acid
today, saying, "Oh man, you're going to do Acid Bath tonight. That's going to be a must
yeah.
listen." So that's really cool. So it's going to be great. And so we'll talk about that and other metal news, and of course that's in the metal segment. Chris, got a new Killer Cage match
Yes, we
tonight.
do. Yes,
dude.
we do.
Got some listeners to thank, like we always do. Who do we got?
We got Tommy Davis, Gregory Leiter, and Robert Milburn. So thanks for giving us those numbers. Fucking
Yeah.
hope to please.
Man, they fucking post those numbers like within a minute. I mean,
I've
it's
noticed,
crazy.
like, I'll
It's
see
really
that, like,
fast.
instantly there's numbers up. Even after there's somebody's already commented numbers,
know.
they just keep coming. It's like, damn. All right, sorry, guys.
I know. It is funny because I'm thinking the same thing. But if they're commenting around the same time, they may not realize
Right.
it. But it is funny. It's like, yeah, I've already got them. Thanks, But we got a good matchup tonight, Joey. Who do we got fighting in the cage tonight?
We have Mr. Grandpa from New York, Albert Fish.
The Gray Man
Yep.
himself. His
And he's going to
mask
go
is
up
up there on
against
the wall.
Mr. Ted Bundy.
Yeah. So that
Oh,
should be
man.
an interesting matchup.
Yeah, it's gonna be strange.
Like you said, Grandpa, going
Yeah.
up against this guy in his 30s, you
Yeah.
know. So that should be interesting. But, guys, if there's some objects in there,
Right.
You never
could
know what's
fucking,
gonna
and that
happen.
variable,
Never know
you
what's
never
gonna
know with the
happen.
variable. So that should put a little twist on it. And, of course, we'll do that in the Mayhem segment later on. Also, huge thanks to our sponsor, spellboundeffectsandart.com. We always love showing off the stuff Tony sends us, man. The
Yes.
fucking forearm with Murder Metal Mayhem and the fucking lamp and the spike, the fucking
fucking
thing he
head.
sent for the 100th episode. Just
so
crazy.
nasty.
Such an amazing artist. So go check it out. He's got a great online catalog. It's as if Ed Gein was in the back making this shit, because it's pretty crazy.
Yes,
Aprons and vests and hats and all sorts of body parts. I mean, it's just fucking crazy. Spellboundeffectsandart.com. Go check them out. Because if you got a global pandemic going on, you need some of that shit.
Hell yeah.
You need body parts.
Yeah, I mean, why not have a severed hand on your table, Joey? I mean,
Right.
what's wrong with that?
Ain't none wrong.
No.
Tony's raw as fuck, and if somebody had an idea for maybe a custom piece,
Oh, yeah.
it would not hurt to hit him
No.
up and just ask him about it.
Oh,
'cause-
hell no, because Spike was a custom
Yeah,
kind of creation
exactly.
of his own. I let him go wild, and he obviously met the challenge. But
Fuck yeah.
And for the quality of everything,
Oh,
you get
it's
the prices
amazing.
are not.
No, not at all.
They're
They're
really
not
not.
excessive.
They're
It's,
dense as fuck. Like they're
yeah,
solid.
it feels like a real forearm. I mean,
Yeah.
we have people come to the table when we do appearances, and they're like, "Holy shit!" You
Yeah,
know, I
this
can't
is-
wait to bring this stuff. They're going to really freak out.
Yeah.
So spellboundeffectsandart.com. They are a sponsor, but we honestly do think it's just tremendous shit. So Tony is a great guy. So support that shit, the underground. Huge thanks to everybody out there listening. We do really appreciate it. Thanks to everybody checking it out and telling friends about it and all that stuff. We continue to see the numbers roll in. This week we're about 3,300 listens. So we're down from that record breaker last week, but fuck, that was like insane.
That was fucking nuts.
So we came back down, but we're still higher than our average, so we do appreciate it very much. You guys spreading that word like a case of the clap in a fucking trailer park, man. The clapper. We have a lot of shit on our plate tonight, though. We got one pissed off father in Louisiana with a gun and a piece of shit being led like a lamb to the slaughter right in his path. Gonna have some vigilante business to do tonight, Chris. So.
Yes, sir. So let's get our murder on. I guess it's murder.
Yeah.
Beyond control, this body's gonna take you down. Won't go back till you walk, the motherfucker will spit you out. Steamroll you in the mud, I'll tell you what it's all about. It's your time. Flash mob, run away, beat right through the air. No time, no escape, caught within the scare.
Fuck yeah, man. Some Accept. Song Stampede, man.
I hear the
Good
cattle
stuff.
coming, man.
Yeah, that singer, man, he sounds a lot like Udo, man. It's not the original Udo Dirk Schneider singing there. That's Mark, I think it's Trujillo, or I'm probably mispronouncing it. Anyway, it's an Italian name. That's all I know.
Come on, I thought you were Italian, homie.
Hey, it ends with an vowel. I know that. All right, so we are in our murder segment, and we got a good one tonight. We got Joey Goremonger still in here hanging out, ready to do this. Should be interesting, guys. When I was a kid growing up in the 70s, because I'm old, I remember being little, but seeing movies like the Charles Bronson, the Death Wish
and shit like that.
And that fucking vigilante shit. And, my dad being in law enforcement, he wasn't a cop, but he was in the law enforcement genre.
Industry.
Yeah. And so, I grew up with, mindset of, the bad guy, getting the bad guys, and making shit right, And you gotta love Charles Bronson with those fucking Death Wish movies.
Back
Are
in the
fucking
day,
badass,
man.
you know.
Oh, yeah.
So that's something I think, at least in me, that it's just such a cool thing.
Yeah, he was a boss and all that shit.
He was,
back in the
man.
day,
He was fucking pissed.
Like going out to kill like fucking pre-lethal weapon. He was the fucking goddamn action movie motherfucker.
Oh, he
dude.
was, for sure.
Him and fucking goddamn. Fucking can't think of his name. Dirty Harry, that motherfucker.
Oh, Clint Eastwood. Yeah, fuck yeah. I think the vigilante thing, and we're going to talk more about it after this, at the end of the segment in general, but I think just the vigilante thing is just kind of a cool concept, and I think, it's just, you like to see the good guy prevail.
Right.
Bad guy get his just, desserts. So.
It ain't no Batman.
No, it's not. So this is one of those stories. So Gary Plauche is who we're talking about. He's the father from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, married to June, and together they had 4 kids. Kind of the typical, family from that time. Yeah. He was a committed father who really liked to be involved with the kids, and man, they were involved in some fucking activities.
Shit ton of, like constantly doing sports and shit, man. Non-fucking stop. Yeah,
football,
crazy.
soccer, softball, karate. I mean,
basketball, fucking all
they
that
were
shit.
doing everything. Yeah, and his Gary was just all about it, and 4 kids too. So think about all those practices and games, and holy shit, he was just one of those kind of dads. Now, he did. Have a job as a salesman, and I guess Gary had said, that he was, taking, turning down, promotions and stuff
because he wanted to take time away from being with his kids.
Yeah,
and shit.
So that's how much he was into this shit. And one of the sons, Jody, was actually kidnapped by the karate instructor. Said he was sexually abused in 1984, and the instructor, Jeff Doucette, was ingratiated into their home. I mean, they let the guy go to dinner with
him
them.
Like family, like straight up treated him like family.
And Gary Plauche, did what most fathers wish they had the balls to fucking do, which was fucking take matters into
Like,
his own
fuck
hands.
You fuck my family, you fucking die.
Yeah. And he took matters into his own hands in front of the fucking news cameras. So you can go watch this on YouTube when you're done checking this out. So, Chris, you suggested this one. I really like, you've made some amazing suggestions that are off the beaten path. The Ken McElroy run was
Ken
a great
McElroy,
example of that.
Another
This would be
vigilante
another
thing.
one.
I was gonna say
another
something about
vigilante
that.
thing. Exactly.
Different fucking scenario, but
a
still
lot different.
fucking,
Yeah.
still fucking.
Yeah, go check
crazy
that one
as
out.
fuck.
That's an old episode that we did a couple years ago. But Ken McElroy, go check that one out. But what was it about this one, though, Chris, you think?
I think it was the whole thing about how it was, what happened to his son, and because I know how like if some shit like that, insane fucking like that happened to one of my kids, I definitely go after the person that fucking did that, because I wouldn't even know what the fuck to, like, yeah, just the thought of it's fucking stupid, dude.
It is. As a parent, it's infuriating. And like I said, Joey, I mean, even somebody without children, I mean, just as a human being, I mean, it's fucking, it makes you fucking just crazy to think what this poor bastard was going through, you know?
Sure.
So it's going to be an interesting one. Joey, had you ever heard of this one before we started talking about it?
I had, mostly because, like I was saying, since this was caught on video at the time, it was anything that was coming up in the true crime videos or the real death videos, Faces Death. This was definitely one of the prominent videos that they showed, plus the story behind it.
That's cool.
It's wild because without thinking about those movies now, it's like man, there's a couple episodes in those.
Oh yeah,
you know, if we thought
without
about it,
a doubt.
and this is another one that, like, if Chris hadn't brought it up, I don't know if I would have thought about it for like a whole episode or whatnot.
Right.
But it is really a good one.
Oh sure, yeah,
But,
for sure.
Yep.
So Gary is born in 1945 in Baton Rouge. So that would have made him 39 at the time of the incident. I heard interviews from Jody from a couple years ago. So he's only a few years younger than I am. He talked candidly about the events that led up to that shooting.
Oh, yeah, he does no problems talking about it.
No, he's very, very detailed, seems very forthcoming. He wrote a book about it.
I was wondering if you had that.
I don't have that, no.
Yeah, why Gary? Why?
Yeah,
it's called Why Gary, Why,
When I
yeah.
heard him talk about it, I was thinking I wanted to pick it up.
Yeah.
He mentioned that his mom had signed him up for karate, which kind of surprised him because he was so involved. He was like, how am I going to have the time?
Fucked
You know?
up, though, because, like, he said, like, in his interview and shit that, like, his flyer that he got for school for the karate, he threw away, but his brother fucking had taken one home or whatever.
Right.
And then the whole way that he got with the fucking Duche
Yeah.
is fucked up because he wasn't even his original teacher. Because fucking...
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they fucking... all these parents paid for their kids to take these karate classes, and then the original teacher just bounced with the fucking money.
Oh, wow.
So all these other kids got transferred to Duche's fucking class or whatever.
Oh, wow.
So that's how they ended up in his class, not...
Oh, wow.
They didn't
Interesting.
pay to go into his class,
Wow.
which is pretty shitty right
Yeah,
there. 'Cause,
right.
Like, maybe this never would have happened if the other guy wasn't a fucking douchebag stealing people's money.
Yeah, really. Wow. Whoever knew the karate world was so wrought with fucking scumbags. Right? So anyway, so that's just crazy. Now, Gary Plauche, as I mentioned, was a salesman. I'm not sure what he sold, but according to Jody, he liked to have a few beers over the course of a day. And Chris, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that.
No,
I mean,
ain't nothing wrong with that. But I mean, he was saying like Dad would have a fucking meeting with somebody. They'd meet at a restaurant
For
he'd drink
lunch.
for lunch. He'd drink a few beers there with the
Right.
client or whatever. Then he'd
Go to
have
the
another-
office for
go
like
to-
an hour,
Yeah, go to the
yeah.
office, have another meeting, meet him for for a
Happy
drink.
hour,
yeah, happy
yeah.
hour, have a drink. And then when you come into practice, he's got a cooler full of beer and shit. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
he was
life.
he was a partier, man. So kind of funny. Despite that, he was still really a good dad. You know?
right. You could drink a lot and still be a good dad.
That's right. That's what I'm saying, you know. So Jody said his dad would turn down the promotions, as I mentioned, but he wanted to be involved with the kids, which is cool. Now, as a kid whose dad was a coach, my dad was fucking brutal. It was actually 100 times worse than he was with anybody else.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Some coach dads that I seen, in my years playing Little League were like the opposite. Like their kid could do no wrong, and they would let him pitch like forever, and he should have been taken out innings ago. My dad was the opposite of
He's
that.
like,
so
you done fucked up, boys. Sit down.
yeah, it was brutal. Okay, so growing up with that my entire childhood, this just is like the opposite, because his dad was like really cool and he wasn't like that.
Right.
So it was just weird for me. But he was a very good baseball player, and he was critical when those were not. So his dad was tough, but he was a good teacher. The kids on the team did like him. But as his son, it was difficult. So I can relate. I can relate. And like with my dad, he was liked by the other kids, but he was just tough,
Right.
Old school, Now Jody, I don't know what exactly their dynamic was, because the podcasts that I listened to and the stuff that I watched was basically about the incident, didn't get all deep into all their backstories, but I know the book I'm sure does, so that would be an interesting read. But the interviews with Jody, I think I learned more listening to that stuff than I did, reading, or any of the documentaries that I saw, because they were pretty short documentaries.
Yeah, there wasn't anything super long, because like I said, it's not.
Yeah, it's not a real involved story.
Forward.
Right. So when they started karate, as you mentioned, Chris, Jeff Doucette was 25. He was actually living at the building where the lessons were going on. So definitely a little shady situation. He's got nowhere to go.
I mean, it depends, though. Like, shopkeepers got their apartments.
That's true.
Ain't you ever watched Bob's Burgers?
So it was a pretty, down and out situation. Jody was 11 at the time, said that his dad actually allowed Jeff to shower at their home and gave him some clean clothes and let him come to a family dinner at the parents' house. So that's pretty trusting, Chris. I mean, to let somebody in your home like that with kids involved and stuff.
It is.
So he said that his dad was pretty compassionate guy, picked up stray animals. I mean, he was just that kind of person, just didn't like to see people or animals, in a bad situation. So, Joey, it sounds like he really trusted Jeff, which makes this even worse, because I'm sure all of us can, remember an incident in our own lives where you had somebody that was close to you that really burned you bad.
Yeah.
And that just makes it that much worse, doesn't it, Joey, when it's like that?
Sure. And I didn't see anything. I guess I really didn't see if there was any kind of relationship with Jeff and Gary beforehand.
Oh,
before his son went to the karate school.
I
didn't see anything like that at all. Yeah,
because if there had been anything longer, then maybe you could understand, him helping him out as closely as he did.
sure.
But for him to do it, like, the
Just like
timeline
that.
seems pretty fast. I don't know.
Yeah, I
It
think
does
that's
seem-
the way
I mean,
it was.
that's cool.
Yeah.
He was a nice guy like that, but
Right.
there's reasons why you got to watch out.
Of course, especially when you have 4 kids at
Yeah.
home, So,
was he with his wife then?
yeah.
Yes, he was
they
at
were
first,
so married
yeah.
and
Okay.
shit. Yeah.
So, as they start to, see this guy more, he's taking the kids out on these trips, and he's doing, tournaments with the kids. They would go out of town. He's letting them stay up late, and they're playing games. They're hanging out. It's all cool. He was even letting them drive, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I was saying, like, because obviously,
At 11.
stick shift car. I mean, I started driving when I was 8, but I lived out in the middle of the
Well,
fucking
you lived
country.
in the
and
country,
fucking-
right? This is a different situation
Yeah,
here.
but yeah, it was stick shift, so I guess he'd be driving, doing the clutch, and homeboy be shifting or whatever from the passenger seat, letting the kid drive around. Like,
Right.
all right.
And then he would say, like, he would put his hand in his lap and, like, would test his boundaries, and so he would feel the hand in his lap and be like,
"Hey,
what the
what's
fuck?
up?" Yeah, like,
And then the hand would go away.
Yeah. Pretty
Started
fucked up.
doing that more. And then he said when they were stretching, like, before practice, he would, like, touch their, like, groins and shit.
It's like, hey, watch out. Oh, I'm sorry. And he was able to pass it off like it was
Yeah.
an accident.
Hey,
and shit.
sorry, man,
Like you said, testing the boundaries, like grooming him to be his sex toy, basically.
Yeah, I mean, he was just trying to make him feel more comfortable being touched,
Right.
and so that when the time came to actually do something sexually to him, he wouldn't be as, scared, I guess. I don't know. At the same time, he's freaking out, but he said, hey, I was only 10 or 11 at the time, and I didn't know what to say. I mean, Joey, I can't imagine, kid, just scared, and this guy's your coach,
I don't like growing up when I did. I mean, me and Chris were at the same time. Pete not too long before us, but it's like I know that I was out there a little more unsupervised than what parents would do
Right.
now.
Right.
I get that.
Sure.
And there's reasons for all that. I see that. But even back then, like in the way my parents were pretty chill about shit, about letting me like learn
Right.
life on my own and all that. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, I cannot even think of a time that they would have let me just be with one of my coaches, even one of my teachers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
For like an overnight,
yeah, they
too.
would.
That's
I
kind of fucked
guarantee
up.
they would have thought that was
Right,
weird.
that's
Yeah.
fucked up. Yeah.
Even then, so
Yeah.
it's like,
Especially a single guy like that.
Yeah.
Like if it was a husband and a wife or something,
Right.
it wouldn't be maybe as weird.
yeah.
But that still
Sti-
sometimes
it's
don't
still-
stop shit.
Of
Yeah,
course
I mean,
not. Yeah, but you're right. I mean, even at that time period, it's
Yeah.
a little odd, So they're very trusting, obviously.
I mean, Ed Gein, not Ed Gein, Albert Fish. You could that was back in the 30s, so
Sure.
he pulled the wool over their eyes.
Oh,
And they
yeah.
let
Real
their daughter.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, how the fuck can that go down? But really, how the fuck can it go down 50 years later?
Well, sure.
Yeah, why would you let that happen?
Yeah.
Because there's no way I'd let one of my kids.
Right.
One of their coaches or teachers like, hey, can kids spend the night with me? Like, especially if they don't have, like I said, they don't have kids themselves or
Right.
something.
It
Like,
would seem odd.
Like, why the
you're
fuck do you
living
want my
You're
fucking
living
kid?
in the karate studio. It's just
Yeah.
kind of weird,
fuck no, dude. Oh, what are you doing? Fucking pulling an all-nighter on fucking judo chops?
So, I mean, Chris, I can't imagine, being in that situation at that age. I mean, it just had to be really confusing to him,
Yeah, it'd be fucking super fucked up. But at the same time, like, I feel like when I was 10 or 11, like Cashman was saying, a little less unsupervised than today or whatever. But
Right.
I feel like even at that age, if somebody started touching me, it's like, look, dude, fucking stop. Like,
Right.
don't fucking touch me like
Yeah.
that, homie. Like,
Yeah.
fuck that.
Yeah, it's hard to put yourself in his shoes, of
right,
course.
It 100% is. It 100%
But you're
is.
right, though. I would think at that age, I would have definitely not wanted to go back with that person
Hold on,
after
like,
something
I
like
ain't
that.
going with him. He's a fucking freak, dude.
Yeah. So his father was told by his brother, and if you watch that documentary, he's the dude with like the thing on his, like
trait?
from smoking.
Yeah, the trait.
And he's all like this, it's hard to understand him. But he said that Jeff Doucette seemed a little off, and he was too close to the boys. And he said that he saw Jeff kiss Jody on the mouth, and it really freaked
Yeah.
him out.
If my fucking goddamn brother told me he saw some motherfucker kiss my kid on the mouth, there's gonna be a fucking problem.
Well, that's
dude.
what I'm saying.
Also,
That's
I'd
like,
be
God
like, hey,
damn,
bro,
dude.
why didn't you fucking handle that
Why
while
didn't
you were
yeah,
there?
exactly. Why didn't
Right?
you say
You
something? Like,
saw
what
that?
the
Yeah.
fuck, dude?
Yeah,
Fucking-
that's
but-
fucked up. And Gary wouldn't listen to him. He
Right.
was still cool with Jeff. And I'm like you, thinking, if some guy told me they saw some dude kiss one of my kids, 10 years old, on the
Right,
fucking
on the-
mouth,
Like,
I'd
fuck
be
that.
fucking like all over it. You
Yeah,
know?
like what the fuck? Like you said too, Michael wouldn't even have let that stand.
Yeah,
dude.
right.
Michael wouldn't let that stand. He'd have
Yeah.
walked up right there, like, "What the fuck do you think you're doing?"
Exactly.
And-
Yeah, you'd be hearing the ruckus going
Yeah.
on, and then go find out what's
exactly.
happening.
And there was also the time that we were on that trip, and instead of staying at the hotel, Jody's mom set it up to where he was staying at his grandparents, and it really pissed fucking Jeff off. Like,
Oh, wow.
he was physically angry about it. Like, why are you, he's not staying at the hotel? Like, mad
wow.
about it, dude.
Oh damn! I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah,
Wow.
it is pretty messed up.
Yeah, that is fucked up. But he continues to let Jody hang out with the guy. And this is like that docu-series with the dude. What was that one with the girl? It was a similar sexual abuse thing, but the guy was like giving the dude a hand job driving down those.
Oh, I know what you're talking
You
about.
talk about abducted in plain sight.
Yeah,
Yes, that
was it's not to that degree. I mean, he's not jerking the dude off,
Right.
but
yeah,
it's along those lines. Like, dude, seriously, like, what the fuck?
gotta
Like, you're gonna let it
it's
keep
right
going
in
out?
front of you, yeah.
It's pretty fucked up, man. And he continues to let it go on. This time though, he had separated from June, so Gary was living on his own, but he was still managing to be involved with the kids just as he always had. So now, Joey, sometimes, when it's somebody that close to you, you can't really see the obvious, when it's right there in front of you like that.
Right. And, we've said this before, but the power of denial is huge.
Right.
If you just ain't believing something's going down.
Right.
It seems like Jeff was like, I don't know. It seemed to me, by what I understood of the story, that he saw their breakup, the mother and father,
Right.
as a fucking smooth way for him to slide in.
Now I can
sure.
be the man of the family, or not the
Not
man
really
of the
the
family,
man,
but a father figure
To Jody,
basically,
yeah. That's
Yeah.
a good point. It's a very
which
good point.
is super, super fucked up, because that's
It
some
is.
devious shit.
That is devious shit, man. So now we're talking, it's February 1984. Jeff tells June and Gary that he wants to take Jody for the day to run some errands and hang out for the night. Again, we've been talking about this. It's like, I don't fucking think so.
Yeah.
With some other kids from the karate class to hang out. They were told just one night, so they allow them to go. But instead, Chris, they get on a bus.
Yeah, they went to Cali.
1,600 miles to California. Now, Jeff had lived there for a period of time, so he knew the area. But the Plauches have no fucking idea where they are. And I think at one point they told them they were on the East Coast, didn't they? But they were in California, but they were telling them they were in like New York or something. I'm not quite sure where that comes in, but I believe that was something that had been put out. So the Plauches have no idea what's up. Amazingly, though, Chris, 4 fucking days it took them to go to the police.
Yeah,
I
really thought that was pretty
what the fuck,
fucky, dude. Why would you wait 4 days? Why would you?
Right.
I mean,
if he's not answering you and he's the one that's supposed to be with the kids,
right. I mean, I'd
be freaking out.
I understand they didn't have cell phones like we do, so it didn't, like, you just try calling the motherfucker whenever, whatever. But when you're not hearing anything after, okay, he said 1 day. So after that time frame from the 1 day, after that, dude, it's like, where the fuck are you? Why are you waiting 3 more fucking days?
Right. Yeah.
Like, it don't make sense.
Yeah, that is I can't imagine waiting that long. It doesn't seem to make any sense. Now, Jeff had Jody in a hotel. According to Jody, he was sexually assaulting him repeatedly until they found him a month later. Jody talked about the way Jeff would sleep in a bed with multiple boys from the class on these trips.
Dude.
Wanting them to perform oral sex on him. I mean, it's a pretty gruesome fucking details about this shit. Now, one time where he asked him to suck his dick, and he's like, no,
I ain't doing that. He's like, well, I'll wake this kid up.
Yeah,
and he'll do it.
so
And
then
he's
he had to
like,
watch the other kid do it. I mean,
Yeah,
that's just
that's
some fucking
fucked
crazy
up.
shit. He doesn't get into the real gory details, but he does say that he witnessed Jeff Doucette force himself anally with one of the boys and spoke to at least another one who had told him that Jeff
Right.
did the same
Yeah,
shit
he
to
said
him.
he had witnessed it happening to other
Right.
kids,
So this was going on for sure. There were 3 or 4 more kids that he believed also had been abused, and that's just from one class.
Right.
I mean, that's crazy because you got to think, Joey, that this didn't just happen here. I mean, this is probably something he's been doing, and I can't imagine how many kids had probably been prey to this sick fuck, man.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you got to think he's only 25, and he's got his karate studio, and he's pretty much already doing what he's doing there. He's not that old, so I would imagine that he probably had a lifetime worth of getting it and giving it.
Yeah.
the molestation. I wouldn't be surprised if he was molested, is what I'm saying.
Right,
Oh,
I
sure.
wouldn't be
And I'm
surprised
pretty
at all.
sure it was a continuous thing from him getting it to him doing it. And
Right.
then, you know,
Right.
getting, having access to the kids the way he did. I mean, I don't know. That could be possibly really sickly predetermined.
Oh,
As
yeah.
far as picking your career so you can do things like that.
Right. That's a good point.
I've heard, like, not just this case, but other cases, I've heard this phrase, like, hurt people. Like, if
Yeah.
you've been hurt, you're
Yeah.
going to hurt somebody.
Right.
So I see what you're saying about
Yeah.
he molested his whole life, and that's what he's going to do.
Which,
Yeah,
I mean, I
that's
don't know
a good
anything
point.
about that.
I don't know anything about his
Yeah.
history, so that's a really good point because I didn't even think about that because
Yeah.
that is usually the case.
And that's the only thing I can see, because if it's not the case, then he was just really that fucking demented.
Right.
But yeah, as young as he was and the way it was going about, that had to have been a path, I would think.
Yeah, I think so too. Now, for some reason, Jeff allows Jody to call his mother, collect from the hotel they were staying at in Anaheim, California.
Hey, at least he got to go to. But when he originally kidnapped him, remember he fucking shaved his beard off and
Yeah.
shit, and then
colored
Jody had
Jody's hair.
blonde hair and they dyed it black and shit.
Yeah.
So, and I guess he did that like at a bus stop. So when he got back on the bus,
Oh, wow.
like that when he shaved his beard, it was at the bus
Oh,
stop.
they
And
wouldn't even recognize him.
the people on the bus that they were riding with, because they were like, "Why'd you shave your beard off?" And he basically said that he was going for a job or wherever they were
Oh,
going.
yeah, that's right.
So, and I just figured it'd be easier if I just shaved it now because they don't allow beards where I'm going to work.
Right.
I mean, that's some fucking shady shit right
Yeah,
there,
that's
too.
coming up with some stories, ready to fucking
Yeah.
explain stuff. That's fucked up, man. But he calls his mother Collect, and that's how the police are able to figure out where they are. They raided the hotel. He said they stayed in room 36. He remembered it distinctly. And it took, they took Jeff Doucette without any drama. You could see the news coverage from March 1st on YouTube when Jody is flown back to Baton Rouge and the reunion with his parents. As you mentioned, Jeff dyed his hair black, so he looked different to them. And then he had shaved his beard off. So he was definitely, for this trip, it was definitely, ill intentions. He was looking to fucking, be gone and change his identity. And the reaction of the parents seemed pretty normal, just being very grateful that the kid was back. At the
Right,
time,
for
they
sure.
didn't know what had happened to him with the abuse, although you can't imagine that wasn't crossing your mind when this kid's not coming back, as something was up,
I was also curious, too, and I didn't see anything about it, but, did June know that the kid had been gone for 4 days when she all of a sudden gets this collect call?
Yeah.
Or
That I don't know, because it could have thought the parent
Yeah.
might have thought he was with the
Right.
for at least a day,
because I was
maybe,
thinking
but
how fucked up it was.
4 days, for
yeah.
an 11-year-old to be gone.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
It took 4 days for the dad to say something. So anywhere in that time was the mom fucking wondering where's her kid at, too,
Right.
or not, or was
Right.
she? It was weird.
Yeah, it is. There's some questions to be asked. Now, Jody said he was treated at a hospital in California. He was given a rape kit, of course, for DNA
'Cause
purposes.
he had told the cops and everybody that nothing happened.
Yeah, he wasn't going to say anything, but the test concluded that he had been raped, that there was DNA in him, and even though Jody wouldn't admit it, he just didn't want to tell on Jeff. He was feared he was going to get in trouble because of being allowed to drive and the whole staying up late.
and
But again,
buying
when
him
you're
shit.
11,
Yeah.
you're thinking of staying up late is like a big deal, and he just thought that he didn't want to get in any trouble himself.
Right.
And I'm sure there was some embarrassment and confusion about what had happened to him since he was only 11. And again, this is 1984. And Chris, I have no fucking words for how fucked up this whole story is. I mean, they're gone for almost a whole fucking month.
Yeah, they were gone.
Holy shit.
I think it was close to a month, something like that.
Yeah, it was
they were
very
gone
close
for a
to a
long
month.
fucking time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the whole time, parents just freaking out, not knowing where the fuck their kid's at.
Right.
And there was this whole story, too, that everybody, that people were saying that Jeff and June were like in a relationship at some point.
Yeah.
Which Jody said they weren't at all. Like,
yeah,
not
Jody
at all.
would denounce that and said that was bullshit. But yeah, that was a rumor going around that Jeff Doucette and June were having some sort of affair.
Right.
And this was all a guise to get them to go off with him and
some shit like that.
But
I mean, I hope it's not the case, but like we were talking about with the, abducted in plain sight. It's
Right.
like, man, Jeff just said, did he bang the mom, the dad, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and the kid? Like,
who knows, man?
there was reasons that he was allowed to fucking be trusted into that circle. Mm-hmm. And I don't know.
It's very strange. It really is.
Yeah.
And how Gary Plauche knew exactly when the police were going to be there is a little bit of a controversy. The one account that seems to be the most legit is that he was at a bar and he overheard the camera guys talking to the
and
bartender.
he knew one of them because he had worked for the. He had been
I think you're right.
camera guy. He worked for the news company or news crew or whatever. And he asked one of them, and he made a phone call, and he got the time.
Yeah.
When they were going to be back.
Right.
I agree that I think that's what happened too.
Yeah.
However, he was also friends
With the police,
with the police.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, with the cops. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a few different stories and some question of exactly how he found out, but nonetheless, he knows when he's going to be flown back. Jeff Doucette's going to be flown back from California to Louisiana, of course, in police custody, and then taken, right through the airport. So he knew. The local TV station, WBRZ, was there, set up, shooting, that area right by the phone booths where Gary was. And I got to say, that fucking disguise, Joey, looked kind of funny almost.
Yeah.
He's got this cap on and
I mean, it was
big old
84.
glasses, right?
Yeah.
Big old glasses
It was
on.
funny, though.
He's trying to be all, discreet and everything and the payphone, but he was actually talking to somebody.
He was talking to his best friend.
Yeah, he
Right.
was talking to him on the phone, like, he pretty much told him what he was doing at the time, and he's
Right.
like, don't, then just like hung up the phone, fucking,
Yeah.
yup.
So as soon as Gary's there on the payphones, and all of a sudden you see the cop with Jeff Doucette. Jeff's in front of him, and he's walking. And is he handcuffed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was.
Was he handcuffed? I don't remember.
I'm not sure, but I think he was.
I think he was handcuffed in front.
I believe you're right.
I think he was
Yes.
handcuffed
I'm
in
not
front.
imagining that they extradited him not in handcuffs.
Yeah.
Right. I can't
for
imagine
sure.
at all.
And you could see Gary on the phone talking with somebody. Like you said, Chris, he hangs up. And as Jeff Doucette is being led right by him, he just pulls this fucking handgun out from his pocket and just bam, one
shoots him
shot
right in the head.
Probably, what would you say, a couple of feet?
Yeah, about
5
as far
feet?
as I am from you, maybe.
Yeah,
Like, that's
he
a table
got
width. So
really close to him. Definitely not social distance.
No,
okay?
no.
Not wearing masks either, that's for sure.
Nope.
Shoots him right in the head, and you could see this on YouTube. It's pretty crazy. The cops can't do much. I mean, he falls down. He's fucking bleeding out. Apparently, he was still alive until the next day, but he looked brain dead to me.
Yeah,
I mean, it
he
was
just dropped. Like,
yeah,
he
his
dropped.
eyes are wide open. It's pretty freaky. It looks like he's jerking a little bit there too. It's
because there's an edited video and then there's the unedited video.
Right. Yeah.
Fucking- So if you watch the unedited video, it's pretty intense.
Yeah, it really is. So definitely check it out if that's your thing. He definitely looks dead, but what I read, that he was actually alive until the following day, but probably was brain dead would be my guess. Like we've been mentioning, Chris, we've seen a lot of these kind of videos, those awful Al-Qaeda videos with beheadings. I mean, some really gruesome shit. So in the pantheon of gruesome shit, this really isn't that bad.
Lame.
But,
not lame, but
it's just such an interesting story about what happened and why he did what he did is I think what makes it, just so brutal and that whole vigilante thing. Like I said, rooting for the bad guy to get his fucking shit,
Well, and especially in 1984, there weren't that many homicides caught on video like that.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Not everybody's walking around with a camera in their hand like they are today.
Right, exactly, dude.
But I thought it was kind of funny. He almost shoots him like underhanded.
Yeah.
He was definitely a weird motion, but
right, and that's like you were saying, he was also friends with a cop. He's also talking with the cops, like interviews with the cops, he's like, why would I be part of that? I was in the line of fire in the way that came
Right.
down. I wouldn't put myself in that position to where I might get fucking shot.
Well, yeah, because he shoots, like you said, underhanded. And then also I saw something with the cops that said, why would we want to be the next Lee Harvey Oswald situation with somebody in custody getting shot like that? I mean, that's what you're there for, is to make sure they get to their jail cell in one piece.
Yeah,
you know?
and not something happen.
Yeah. So, as soon as it happens, you see a cop come into the scene, reaches for his arm and holds his arm up, and that's the whole why, Gary, why, and that's the name of Jody's book, as you mentioned, Chris. And obviously they're all freaking out. And this would have been before YouTube. So, eventually would have been a thing, of course, and now we could see it very easily. Also, Gary Plauche's son, Jody, has a website. I don't know what the address is, but you may be able to find it if you search Jody Plauche. But if you search for Gary Plauche on YouTube, you can watch the video we're talking about. And Joey, I don't know which one I've seen. I don't know if the one I saw was the unedited or not. I mean, it's pretty graphic. I mean, he's like laying on the floor. They turn him over. His eyes are wide open.
Yeah.
He's like twitching. I mean,
You probably saw it. The edited one is way shorter. It's
Okay.
one that they ended up using for
okay.
I can't American Justice or something, because they did a couple of those kind of episodes where obviously they didn't show the whole thing.
Gotcha.
But YouTube was the same way, because they had the whole video for a long time and then it got pulled.
Okay.
They uploaded it again, the edited version.
Oh.
But now the other one's found its way back. I mean,
Gotcha.
like I said, that shit's been around for so long. And
Right.
It was,
It's bound to
syndicated
keep
movies.
showing up.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's going to pop up anywhere.
Yeah, so Jody himself says he wished that his father hadn't done it so that Jeff Doucette could have been, tried and convicted. And, because of those rumors, like you brought up, Joey, about the mom and Jeff Doucette having an affair, he wanted all that brought up and denounced, in a courtroom so people would stop with that shit.
Now, just in my opinion, it seems like I saw the interviews too where he was talking about that stuff, and he goes through it in his book and all that. But he came out with all that stuff like a little bit after all this shit, and at the time that they were apprehended in California, and he was rescued in California, but he, he wasn't trying to get Jeff in trouble.
Right.
He was, trying to watch out for him. So it seems like, okay, that fresh in the deal, was he that person that would have been that great of a witness to give a testimony against him?
Oh, sure.
Right, because he might hold shit back, whatever.
And it seemed like after a while he got very, obviously much more comfortable with trying to out this man and, explain what happened. But at first it didn't seem that way. He had the kind of like the victim's mentality. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's hard to tell if he had gone to trial. I get what Jeff's saying, that he wished would have came out because of the trial.
Right.
What could happen, but it
But
might
at
not
the
have
time,
gone
who
that
knows?
way.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and not to
especially
mention-
being 11, too.
Right, and not to mention, I'm sure that dude would have plea bargained.
Yeah,
I don't even
and they
know if he
wouldn't
would've
have
went to a
wanted to put
trial.
the kid through it.
Exactly. I don't think that would have happened. So
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
But it is, afterwards, and once he was able to get a more conscious mind of his own, he, uses that to make sure that things are known. So
Right. He did say that his dad didn't regret doing it, but he did regret taking a human life.
I heard somewhere that he said that. I saw somewhere that he said that he'd fucking dig him up and do it again.
That was the uncle said of his brother. He said
that's
he
what it
would
was.
have dug him up and shot him again.
Yeah, that's right.
But then Jody was saying, so you get a little bit of conflicting stories there. Gary was a religious guy, and he did feel that he was going to go to hell because of what he did. But Jody's uncle was, like I said, all about to dig him up and shoot him again.
Let's kill him. That's fucking hilarious.
So who knows? Now, Chris, it is amazing that he only had to serve a weekend in jail over that. But
hey, man, it's like that scene from the Bronx Tale. Oh, that's all I get for a murder rap? Thanks, Father.
right? That's funny. I just saw that not that long ago.
I fucking love that movie.
That is a good movie. He spent that first weekend in jail because it happened on a Friday, so he had to wait through Monday to get let out. He's taken to a psychiatric hospital for about 6 weeks before getting let out totally. He moves back in with June and the kids because they said he couldn't drink. So June's like, all right, if he's not going to drink, then he can come back
home. Yeah, that's fine.
So he pleads guilty to manslaughter, as you said, Joey. He was given a 7-year suspended sentence, 300 hours of community service, and 5 years of probation.
All for murder. I fucking love it.
Yeah. So, of course, the idea of what he did and why he did it is, of course, an influence here.
Right. Definitely. I mean, the whole community, the entire community had his back. Like, fucking, nah, he's good.
Yeah,
he gets a pass on this one.
They were, very, very supportive of him. Yeah. And
could you imagine all the parents and fathers that are, like I said, just like me or you, fucking,
right.
Nope.
Fuck yeah,
he
man.
Wins.
Yeah, anybody would have done it, So he lived until he was 68. He did die in a nursing home from a stroke in 2014. I did see some footage where he was interviewed. He could barely talk, but he was able to say a few words, and he did say that he did not regret shooting Jeff Doucette at all, only that he had to kill somebody, human, that he didn't want to have to do that. Jody said how much it upset him to see his dad in that situation because he knew how his dad was and that he wouldn't have been the type to kill somebody. So to be driven to that point upset him to see his dad have to go through that. So pretty fucked up.
Yes, it is.
We see this kind of thing from time to time. I've seen the video of the dad in the courtroom and the child's killers and sitting 10 feet from it.
And they just jump the rail and just go. You see a lot of those videos.
Yeah, I mean, you could see it. I mean, we've all seen that.
Well, think about the movie A Time to Kill, the book A Time to Kill. Fucking, I mean, that's, to me, that what he did was justifiable in that book or that movie or whatever.
Exactly,
These people fucking did bad things to his daughter.
Yeah.
Like terrible, terrible things and left her for dead. That would have done the same fucking shit too. Like, for real.
Right, and that's the thing is people want to root for that. It's like the story of the Count of Monte Cristo, the person that's wronged getting revenge, getting there. In this case, of course, that revenge is in the form of murder. Now, Joey, what are your thoughts on, the whole idea of the sentence that he got and all that? I mean, do you think the same thing would happen if this went on today?
I mean, it's hard to say because it's such a different circumstance,
Right.
But I would like to say that with the judicial system the way it is now, they wouldn't let it go like that. And the only reason is because you got to set a bar. You can't be like, okay, well, this is okay to do this in this certain way.
Right. Understand.
Vigilant activity is still illegal,
right?
Technically, that's why he got, he still got in trouble.
Still got in trouble,
sure.
But not what a normal person would get,
right? And it is weird because it's like you could look at any person and be like, if that was your kid or wife or whatever in that situation, how could you not freak out under the opportunity? But I that's cool that he got what he got for what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Because, man, if you look at it a little different, it's not like he saw the guy somewhere, flip the fuck out over this shit, grab something and killed him.
Right.
He's like, okay, I got time. I'm going to see her. I'm going to find out when he's going to be at the airport.
Right.
I'm going to get a fucking disguise.
Get my gun.
The premeditation is beyond there. So it's like, I'm not advocating. I'm glad that he got away with what he did because of the circumstances.
Right.
But in this day and society and the way the judicial system is, do I think that's I don't think that's.
Right.
I think you're right. I think you're right. What do you guys think in general, Chris? I'll start with you about the whole vigilante thing. I mean, like we've been talking, we could see the reason. We also realize, though, that you have to have some kind of law to keep people from doing stupid shit.
Basically, the kind of thing Joey said it the best. You got to have a bar somewhere that you meet when.
Right.
But there's certain things like that to where What's that girl that's in prison right now for murdering a rapist? Why is she in prison right now?
Oh,
I can't remember her name offhand, but
yeah, I can't either.
She got like raped multiple times, and she ended up killing the dude. She should not be there.
No, that's ridiculous.
That guy deserved what he got.
Right, I agree.
And I just feel like I don't know. If I was in the situation, it'd be pretty fucked up to me. So I mean,
yeah,
vigilantism is it's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing, I guess. Because once one person starts doing it, it's okay. Like Cashman said, kind of.
Right.
Basically, everybody else is going to be like, "Oh, well, that guy hurt
right.
my mom."
And how many
whatever.
times have you?
That's why I did it. It's justified. So you can't do that. Everybody can't do that.
Right. And sometimes you might think that that's the right answer or the right thing or that happened, but actually it's not. You know, sometimes it's not so obvious, and so you don't want people. Lynch mob type mentality where people are fucking being drawn and quartered in the streets, and there weren't even the fucking person that did it.
Yeah, there's no reason for it to happen. Yeah.
It's like I mean, man, it's so fucked up. It's hard to say because it's like, okay, you know the details, you know what happened, you know what went on.
Right.
Trying to think outside of that and just, from a law standpoint, everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
We know that's straight up bullshit. That's not really the way that is.
You're guilty until proven innocent.
Right. But what I'm saying is that's why the vigilante thing comes in. It's just like, okay, they have this dude now. They've got him. They've apprehended him. You got to put him through this process, to figure out, what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, you killed this dude off the bat before any of that happened. So you definitely took the law into your own hands. That's exactly what you did, 100%. Which is 100% illegal.
Right.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever. Now, if it's a situation, and this happens too, somebody does something horrible to a person, yada, 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 go to court, and then through some technicality or some other situation, they get off of the case.
Yeah, they walk free.
Then if that person then turns around and kills that person afterwards, because of that, I could kind of justify that more and would understand a pardon on the crimes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we already tried to do it that way.
Now we're doing it my way.
Right. Then I can kind of get that a little more and would, if I was like a judge or something, give somebody a little more leeway in this time. You know?
Right.
But
you guys, basically you guys let him go because a cop didn't do something right during an interview or something.
And I don't even know. In 1984, you got to think, did Gary Plauche do this much to himself because he did it on video? Because I promise that there were cases, through the 70s and 60s, somebody's fucking daughter or fucking son was
some shit, same
caught in
basic
a
scenario.
fucked up situation, and those that family and probably some neighbors got together and figured out how to make that shit disappear.
Oh, sure.
And that
Freddy
shit happened.
Krueger shit.
Right,
Oh,
and that
hell
shit
yeah.
happened.
Right.
And I could have saw this could have been a case like that could have maybe got swept up under the rug.
Right.
But because he did it on video,
Well, of course,
and now it's like, okay, now we have to
You have
bring
to
you
deal
through
with
this.
it. Yeah.
So.
Interesting. Anything you guys want to add on this one? Any of this story, Chris?
I can't remember the name of it, but Jody does do a lot of he does counseling and stuff for kids that gone through this or people that have gone through this.
Good for him.
He's got a whole. I can't just look up Jody Plauche and it's on the internet. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, he does counseling and he's got the book, but all kinds of shit for people that have been through situations like that or whatever.
That's good. That's good. Joey, anything you want to add to it?
No. It was pretty interesting. Like I said, I'd seen the video and heard the story, but not into this.
Yeah, it's interesting to pick these things apart like this. The research that I did, the usual stuff, a couple of good documentaries, but nothing like the 45, 50-minute classic documentary. They were like 5 and 10 minutes long. The podcast, Catch My Killer, I thought was good. It had Jody on there as a guest. It was very well done. So give that a listen. I did read some internet articles about the case. And also some vigilante stuff in general.
That's all basically what I did. Got online, read some stuff, watched some docs, listened to some interviews with Jody.
That's cool. I know you listen to more
like
than I did, so some of your perspective there was interesting stuff I had not heard. So that's the nice thing about trying to, when you're listening to something about a topic, is just don't listen to one. Just don't listen to us. Go listen to something else, because chances are they might have talked about something we didn't, or vice versa. So. Next time, though, we're going to do another crazy case that you suggested, Chris.
Yeah.
This one's going to be good. Who are we going to do next week?
Tyler fucking Hadley, man. Fucking
And what was
dumbass
his
kid.
deal, man?
Oh, he liked to do ecstasy and beat his parents with a hammer.
Yeah. Yeah, a little hammer smash face stuff,
Then
literally.
Then get on Facebook and have a party with his
Dead parents in the house.
Yeah.
He throws a fucking weekend-long bash. Joey,
man.
what the fuck, man? Like, did Goremonger play at that party?
Right? I wish I would have.
How cool would that have been, right?
He would have went back to find his parents. They'd have been gone. He'd have been like, what the fuck?
Where'd they fucking go?
What the hell? They took him. They put him in the road cases. They took him back to Illinois. So we've had a few listeners ask about this one, so it's going to be a good one. Another fucked up story. Always fucked up stories,
Always.
Chris, So I think I hear that intro music, though. We know who that is. That's
The
that
great
cocky
metal
bastard.
motherfucker.
That's right. The great metal motherfucker himself. So, Chris.
Yeah, let's get our fucking metal on, motherfucker.
Known the world over as the master of metal, the crusher of posers, and murder metal mayhem's knower of all things metal, hailing from Wild Man Street in Danbury, Connecticut, standing at 6 feet of brutal, punishing madness, weighing in at 220 pounds of poser pulverization, the one, the only, toughest bastard on the planet, Chris C.K. Kovacs! All right, it's got to only be one person, Chris.
Can only be one. There is only one great metal motherfucker.
That's right. What's up, CK?
Hey, what's up, guys? What's going on?
Oh, we're talking some vigilante shit here. Joey's
sir,
playing
yes,
with
sir.
the Chris Benoit action figure over there, doing some silly antics over
Pose him
there.
up.
Yeah, we always end up playing all this bullshit around here. It's so
Yeah.
fucking good.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool shit to fuck with here.
So, like, no offense to my boys in Event of Collapse, but they got this event. We have this Event of Collapse sticker, and it's a circle. I just been kind of etching away at the top of the table. It almost looks like the Godsmack son. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys.
Ooh, that's a low blow. All right, well, we are in metal, which means we got CK calling in from Danbury, Connecticut on Wildman Street. And CK, you always try to tie in when we can the metal segment to the murder segment. And tonight we've been talking about Gary Plauche from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And you come up with the perfect band to talk about.
And this one goes out to our good friend Justin, who
Yes, sir.
Fuck yeah,
wanted
Justin
to hear about this
Morris.
band for a while. So this is for you, Justin.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
But we're going to be talking about Acid Bath,
Nice.
and they're from Houma, Louisiana.
Okay.
I think it's pronounced Houma.
Okay.
At least that's the way they do it. That's the way they pronounce it on Swamp People.
Isn't Acid Bath a type of like a product they sell at Bed Bath & Beyond,
think
Chris?
so. I
Is that
think
the
so.
thing? An acid bath, like a cleanse kind of thing?
That's kind of like when you're it's when you're making your own hallucinogens and you fall in the vat.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I wouldn't want to be caught in that.
No.
Oh, man.
Ouch.
But Acid Bath are from Houma, Louisiana, and they had they weren't together for a long time. It was only about a 6-year, give or take, timeline. And they're a different band. They're doomy, yet they have a little bit of hardcore punk, death metal, and even blues elements to them.
Wow.
And coming from probably where they're from, which is Houma, which I believe is swampy area.
Yeah, I mean,
Dude,
that
probably-
makes sense.
Yeah, it explains why they'd have that swampy, grungy feeling to them. And like I said, they were only around for 6 years, but they actually had an influence on other bands. They formed in '91, and pretty much for the most part, it was the same guys in the band, which was, I believe, Sammy Duet, Mike Sanchez, Audrey Petrie, Dax Riggs, and I forget the other guy's name. Jimmy Kyle was the drummer. Sorry.
Hey, everybody forgets every now and again, man.
Right? Even the great metal motherfucker.
Yeah. I'm still on chemo, so I get a pass, I guess.
You certainly do.
So they formed in '91, and they, formed out of two bands. A band called Dark Carnival, which featured Petrie, Sammy Duet, and Tommy Viator, and Golgotha, which featured Dax Riggs, which is the singer, Mike Sanchez, and Jimmy Kyle. And they put out this demo, which I love the name of this demo that they put out in '91, which is called Hymns of the Needle Freak.
Nice.
Sounds like a junkie's favorite album.
Yeah.
Jesse Pinkman and the Needle Freaks.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And on the strength of the demo, they got a deal through Rotten Records, which we discussed. Rotten Records also had DRI and a couple other bands that we talked about. And actually, Spike Cassidy produced their first album.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Or was it? Yeah, in '94 was the first album. And that album kind of gained a little bit of notoriety because of the cover, which had a John Wayne Gacy artwork on it.
Right.
So that that gained him a little bit of notoriety on that part.
The demo actually had a Richard Ramirez art on it too.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It did.
That's cool.
And that album kind of set the bar for that time. I mean, you had bands coming out of there like I Hate God, with that grungy,
The sludgy fucking sound.
the sludgy,
Right.
the sludge sound, And I wasn't a fan of I Hate God, but I actually dug Acid Bath a lot. I thought they were really cool. And that first album kind of put them on the map. And they're a weird band because they could go from, a grungy thing to like a blues thing with like a double bass drum on it. They were just a really strange band, and that's what I liked about them. And the first album was called When the Kite String Pops, and again it was produced by Spike Cassidy in the artwork. And they put out a second album in, what was it, '96, which was their second album and last album, called Pagan Terrorism Tactics, which the artwork was done by Dr. Kevorkian.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I have the
So,
CD. I just don't have the whole sleeve and everything. I know the CD's got like the goat head on it
Yeah.
and shit. But
Yeah.
What was the
And,
painting Kevorkian did? Was it a painting or pencil or?
No, it's a painting.
Yeah, it's really cool. You'd have to see. It's got a. I'll pull it up for you, but it is really cool.
Huh.
Nice.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
That was her second album, and again, it just took off where the last album was with weird shit. And, they were kind of hard to classify at that point. And that was her last album, and again, the only reason why they broke up was because their bassist, Audrey Petrie, actually died in an auto accident in '97.
Oh, wow.
His parents, and his brother were in an accident. I think his brother was the only one that actually survived. And they had a legacy that exceeded them in the end, because a lot of bands actually were influenced by them. They were just a kind of controversial band. Anything from sampling sound clips from movies Blue Velvet and Clockwork Orange, to just the way Dax Riggs recorded his vocals. They were just a different band, and it was pretty cool. how they experimented with stuff and kind of had no boundaries at the time. And that was like in the 90s. So, at that time, metal wasn't the in thing. It was the grunge thing. Not that they were even close to grunge, because they weren't.
Right.
But it was cool to hear a band that wasn't afraid to actually experiment a little and put out, decent stuff. And eventually they did have they put out a demo album in 2005 of all the demos from 93 to 96 before they were signed. And,
So they just put all the demos on one album and put it out like
pretty
that?
much.
Oh, yeah, fucking
Yeah. And it's pretty cool to have, if you're a fan, and all three are available. And, after Audrey Petrie died, they broke up. They weren't going on without him. And, that's kind of honorable, because a lot of bands do go on when a band member dies, but I guess,
Yeah, they just kind of like, all right, he's gone. This band's over. Let's go do something
pretty
else.
much.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. It's like you said, it's pretty honorable. Like, he was part of this band. Now we're not a band anymore.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
it's tough. I mean, bands are like being married. I mean, honestly, you're around each other constantly.
Right, yeah.
Get pretty tight. Or at least you should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. But out of the ashes, came other projects and bands. Dax Riggs kept busy. After Acid Bath, he had a couple bands, a couple projects. He had this band Agents of Oblivion that was kind of they were different too. They weren't anything like Acid Bath. I guess they were God, I can't even put them into a category, because they're a little weird.
Yeah.
But it was like an album. It was heavy, and it was an album of like dark ballads interspersed with like blues-based metal, and it was probably the closest thing to Acid Bath that he recorded. Because after that, he had a couple solo albums where he did anything from acoustic stuff to stuff that sounded like independent alternative music. And then he also had a band called Dead Boy and the Elephant Man with him and some chick, I forget her name. But it was kind of like the White Stripes type thing.
Right on.
With him and a drummer. That I didn't dig that much, but the other two projects I liked by him. And of course, Sammy Duet, formed Goat Whore.
Yeah. Yep.
And everybody knows Goat Whore. They've been around forever and have like 8 or 9 albums right now.
I just want to know who the farmer is that has the goat whore. I mean, like that's got to be a burden, Chris. I mean, everybody's wanting your goat,
She's not on the clock tonight. She's mine.
Yeah, that name always cracked me up. Like
I'm
goat
not even
whore.
sure how
like,
they got that
what
name.
the fuck, man? Like, where do you come up with that?
I mean,
that's just funny. Like two
I'm not
words
sure how
put
they really
together
got
that
that
you don't
name.
expect to.
I always just assume like goat, Satan, whore. Like I'm Satan's whore.
Okay,
They're
maybe
the goat whore.
the goat's whore
Yeah,
though.
the goat's whore. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no S
no
in there.
S,
Yeah,
but-
I'm confused. We need to interview somebody from Goat Whore to explain this to
Explain
us.
this to me.
Yeah, so
But that's I really dig those guys. And like I said, it was Sammy Duet from Acid Bath and the vocalist from Soylent Green, Louis his name is hard, Falcoust II.
oh wow.
And they've been around since what, 1997 to now.
Yeah,
So,
and goat whore's still out there doing shit. So yeah.
And they just came out with an album like a year or two ago, and they're a big departure from Acid Bath, where they're more of like a death metal sounding band as opposed to the sludge type thing. But
Right.
I really dig those guys, and like I said, Acid Bath, they were around a short time, but actually, influenced a lot of bands. A lot of doom bands these days actually take, say that they influenced them.
That's cool.
But as of right now, I don't know what Dax Riggs is if he's doing anything at the moment. But Go Horse still around, and that's pretty much it for as far as
That's awesome. Well, hopefully Justin Morris approves of your Acid Bath rendition there, CK. I'm sure he will.
God, I hope so. I don't want
I'm
him
sure
coming
he
over
will.
I
me.
hope so. I know. I don't
Especially he knows where the
pissed.
studio is. We don't
Oh,
need
shit.
him showing up here all crazy. You got a lost classic for us, don't you, CK?
I forgot about this band. Oh my God, the band's called Force of Evil.
Yeah.
Hey, does anybody have any clue who's in this band?
I have no
No, I
idea.
have no idea, dude.
It's a combination of King Diamond and Merciful Fate members.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah, it's Hank Sherman, Michael Denner, I think it's Hal Patino, and one of the drummers from who's in Merciful Fate after Kim Ruz.
Like Snowy Shaw
And,
or somebody, maybe?
Yeah, I forget which one it was, but the vocals was the vocals from Iron Angel. I think it was Martin Steen or something like that. But yeah, they came out. They had two albums in the early 2000s. It was pretty much a side project, but definitely worth checking out.
Wow. I am going to check that out.
Yeah, I totally forgot about them. I was going through some CDs. and I was like,
Style-wise,
holy
is
shit.
it similar to the King
Yeah,
Diamond, Merciful Fate
similar
type
to
stuff?
King Diamond, Merciful Fate type stuff?
Okay. And the vocals, or what kind of vocals like?
Vocals aren't like King Diamond. They're kind of like power metal.
Okay. Like a classic metal singer type?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Martin Steen. His vocals aren't. He's not the greatest vocalist, but it fits what they were doing.
Gotcha. All right. I'm definitely going to check that one out. Very cool. Now, CK, last week we started talking about some metal that we were digging and what we'd been listening to. What about you here this week? What have you been checking out?
Well, it's funny because you mentioned AC/DC last week.
Yeah, did you go on a little kick?
Yeah, I went on a little kick with them, and
That happens to me all the time, Chris. I'm sure you too.
What's that?
You go on a tangent with something and then you just listen to the fuck out of it.
I was going to say not necessarily AC/DC, but yeah, there's certain things that, like definitely like lately I've been listening to, again, one of my favorites, fucking goddamn Rust in Peace. But I fucking will never.
It's an amazing album.
I will never
dude.
not listen to that album.
Yeah.
And
that's just a classic, especially after, in my opinion, what they put out is a piece of crap.
right. And fucking
But that's my opinion.
yeah, everybody's got their
Hey,
own.
that's
man.
all right. What about
I hate
you?
King Diamond.
What about you, CK? What have you been listening to? Hearing that
I like-
ambulance in the background. We'll say there's squad cars breaking up a meth lab there and down the street from you.
No, that's
Some Breaking Bad shit going down.
Fuck yeah.
yeah. I've been, it's been like I said, AC/DC, some Maiden. And,
What AC/DC have you been listening to? Because I've been listening to Let There Be Rock, and then
I've been-
also a mix of just like on Google Play where it'll just play them random, and that's kind of cool because you're all over the place. You get first album,
it's
last
the
album.
Bon Scott stuff.
Cool.
Powerage. Like so, Let There Be Rock, Dirty Deeds.
Nice.
And another band I've been listening to is Testament.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's awesome. I was checking out some God Hates Us All today, some Slayer.
Hell yeah, dude. Can't
And
go wrong with that shit.
Decapitated in a mix on Google Play was just fucking slaying the last 2 days, just crushing it in my on my CD or in my stereo in the car. So
Fucking A.
yeah, some
fucking-
good stuff I've been jamming lately.
And
So
my homeboy Derek, I had heard of them before, but I hadn't actually listened to them. But Halo of Locusts.
oh
like,
wow,
I've been like checking them out a little bit
yeah.
past few days. It's Randy Blythe, the singer from Lamb of God, is his
Okay.
other band and shit.
Oh okay.
They're pretty fucking tight. Like I said, I never really listened to them until just within the past few days.
What,
or
what
whatever.
band is that, Chris?
Halo of Locusts.
I gotta check them out.
Halo of
It's
Locusts.
Randy Blythe's in it and shit. Fucking and like
That's
I said,
cool.
the rest in peace. And also fucking the other night, just because it's one of my favorites, had to listen to it again, is fucking Miss Machine, fucking goddamn Dillinger Escape Plan.
Oh.
That album's so nasty, dude.
Dillinger Escape, they're just fucking sick.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, they
crazy
are.
shit.
You know, and he's got the guitarist Guy Pujanti or whatever his name is. He's got a solo album coming out in the fall.
No shit.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Joey, what about you? What have you been listening to here this last week?
Quite a bit since I was doing
I'm
some
sure.
traveling and
Right,
whatnot.
Yeah.
But I guess a couple of the CDs I've had on are Vomitory. Been listening to them, and another band is like a more of a black and death metal band, but called Hecate Enthroned.
No shit.
Yeah, and I've
That's
had
cool.
2 CDs out. So
That's
Fucking
cool.
killing it.
yeah.
Nice.
There's always something good on when I get in Cashman's car.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
Always
sure. I
something
like
good
the
on.
pictures you post on
Yeah, for
Facebook of what
sure.
you're listening to. That's
Yeah.
really cool stuff. We got that.
We got. I actually got some new releases that are coming out that I saw.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay,
very
get on
cool.
it. Hell
Very
yeah.
cool.
If anybody's interested.
Yeah.
New Incantation in August.
Oh, nice.
That new song they leaked is fucking awesome.
I haven't heard it. Is it badass?
Yeah, it's good.
All right.
Really good.
It kicks ass.
Maybe we'll play one of them
ba-
next week.
A band called Valkyrie. Also in July, or actually in July. They have an album coming out, which another band I dig.
I've heard of them before. I don't
Drip-
know that I've ever actually heard them, but I've heard of them before.
Yeah, they got like 4 or 5 albums.
Right.
Brimstone Coven, which is a band out of Northeast, a doom band, which I fucking love. They have something come out the 21st. Dee Snider has a live album for the Love of Metal Live, with a Blu-ray and DVD coming out. Udo Dirkschneider, this week has a new album called We Are One, which is done with a symphony, I believe. So it should be something totally different. Also, In Flames is coming out with a 20th anniversary edition of Clayman, where they re-recorded 4 songs as bonus tracks, and it kills from what I heard from these re-recordings. I don't know why they suck so bad now, but hopefully this will kick their ass a little bit to put them in the right direction for the next album.
Yeah.
And a couple more is Anthrax is coming out with a 30th anniversary of Persistence of Time.
Oh, cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, double CD remastered with bonus tracks. And Morris, Portnoy, and George, which is Mike Portnoy, Neil Morrison, Robin George, are coming out with a cover to cover 3, which they redo classic tunes in their style. And if you don't know, obviously Mike Portnoy used to be in Dream Theater,
Right.
among other bands. Neil Morris used to be in Spock's Beard. He has his own solo project stuff. And Robert George is the bassist for Neil Morris Band. And I think that is it. The only other one that I know of is New Protest to Hero comes out in August.
Very cool,
That's
man.
about it.
Very cool. Well, I'll tell you what, man. We've been talking about that 666 Club, guys. You know, people joining that. Get to support the show. We appreciate that. Those of you that are 666 Club members, and you guys that belong to that club, go to patreon.com/Murder Metal Mayhem. We'll link to it in the episode description.
Get it, 666.
$3 a month. You get some bonus VIP access. You get the shows a day early, the notes to the show.
You're fucking balling, son.
10% off the fucking merch. And you get some bonus content, which we're getting ready to do a couple good ones here that are going to be Patreon-only episodes. And some of these interviews we've been doing, you'll see those as Patreon-only, the complete interviews. So it's good stuff, $3 a month, guys. And it helps support the show and keeps it going. So we do appreciate it. Now, Joey, tell us about your trip. You went on a trip to North Carolina with
My
None other than
brother.
Michael Shawback, Chris's
Yeah.
brother, who's
yeah.
never flown before. So
Right.
you were taking on a big boy
Yeah.
on his first plane ride.
Yep.
So how did everything went good? No drama?
No.
He didn't get like thrown down and like bitten by dogs or anything?
No, it was a good trip, and
Biting his nutsack or anything?
yeah, no, we had the whole reason we were going out there was, my buddies in Vitupere were putting on a fest this year, and it was a good fest, but of course,
Yeah.
among all the shows this year, it got canceled. And that sucked, but at the time, me and Michael had gotten the plane tickets, and I talked him into going out there with me, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
because I wanted somebody to go, and I was flying, and we got the tickets fucking dirt cheap. So
I'm sure.
whenever it, came to the show was getting canceled, I was like, man, I don't give a fuck. I'm still going out there.
I got
like,
a fucking ticket. I'm
yeah,
going out. Fuck.
I'm gonna go. Michael's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll go too. And so we had it planned out, but the Vitupere boys out there, they were like super cool with us, and they fucking took care of us out there. A lot of hospitality.
Awesome.
So we had a really good time. We got to go, spend a night in North Carolina. Then we went through West Virginia and stayed the night in Virginia at my buddy Travis's. And Travis listens to the podcast, but
Awesome.
What up, Travis?
Now,
Yeah.
Vituperate, they're on the Little Mermaid soundtrack,
Yeah,
right?
for
Yeah,
sure.
that's what I thought. A Whole New World or something like that. Yeah.
But they had came out to they had come out and played Heart of Illinois Fest
July,
last
yeah.
year, so that was cool. And then so to be able to go out to their place, that was awesome.
Oh, hell
And
yeah.
I got to watch them practice, and I took some video footage you can see on their page if you want to look at that. They're really fucking grindy and amazing dudes, like talented musicians for sure. But the drummer Travis, he had me set my stuff up out there. On their guitars, of course, and everything.
That's
but I
cool.
had my drums. But me and him played through one of my songs, Confessions of a Small Town Pervert, and he learned it on real drums.
Oh, wow.
And so that was really fucking
That would be
awesome.
cool. Yeah. And you got video of that, too.
Yeah, and
We'll
Michael
see
did
what
get
happens,
video, but
Yeah, we're going to try to put
we're
something
going to try
together.
to salvage it because it plays well on his phone, but not on anything.
Yeah.
that we
Yeah,
send
for
it
some
to.
reason, when he sends it to
Yeah.
me or
Yeah.
Cashman or whatever, it doesn't come
But it
out
was
right,
cool,
it
and we're
plays
gonna
right on
we're
his
gonna
phone.
record that too. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do a whole EP with a real drummer. With
Oh,
him.
wow.
So-
That's a great idea,
But anyway,
Joey.
yeah, we had
That's
a fucking
cool.
blast, and then we're going out to South Dakota on fucking
Yeah.
Friday, me and Chris.
Fuck yeah, we are. It's
Oh,
gonna
you're
be
going
fucking
with
bla-
him?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
I'm
hell
going with-
yeah.
fuck
Nice.
Hell yeah.
So we're going to that. They're doing a fest up there, which South Dakota is 100% wide open right now because there's
Right.
only 10 people in the whole state.
Could easily
Yeah.
keep 6 feet apart
Yeah,
with 10
for sure.
people, yeah.
But anyway, I mean, it looks like a good time. There's some other bands going to be playing: Virulent Excision, Deterioration, Abolishment of Flesh from Texas. So that's going to be a good time. So we get a couple bits of metal in, in the last couple weekends.
That'd be fucking
That's
great.
cool, dude. It sounds like that's going to be a good time. Well,
Yeah. Can't wait.
Hey, you know what I found out being in North Carolina that I never ever knew? For whatever reason, I've been listening to Corrosion of Conformity since I was a little kid, like Eye for an Eye, like since I was little, and I always for some reason thought that band was part of the New Orleans fucking sludge scene.
Really?
No, Raleigh, North Carolina.
Raleigh, North Carolina, yeah. So I got set straight about that when I was down there.
oh, I'm sure. That's funny. That's funny.
But yeah, no, pretty cool. I didn't know that.
But I think the guitarist, what's his face, lives in Louisiana
Pepper Keenan.
now.
Yeah, Pepper.
Yeah, Pepper Keenan. I think he lives in Louisiana now. So
Because I feel like he was a part of that whole scene down there with like the interchanging of members and all them bands.
well, he was
Well,
in Down
I was
and
gonna
all
say,
that.
He was in
Yeah,
Down and
that's
shit
right.
too. So.
That's right.
So I think that's probably why I just associated that.
Yeah,
but no,
that
them
makes sense,
motherfuckers
dude.
are from Raleigh. Yeah.
Raleigh, huh? That's cool. Well, I think we've educated the masses with some good metal tonight. So, CK, you know what the fuck's happening right now. What's going on?
We're going to get our Mayhem on, fuckheads.
Hey, honey, I'm not sure what's going on with the plumbing, but I can't get this sink to go down. Do you know where the plunger is?
Yeah, it's been acting up lately. I'm not even sure their plunger will work. I got this flyer on a front door the other day for Nilsson Drain Cleaning. Maybe we should call them.
Well, that's kind of a funny coincidence.
Right? It says that they have a special going on this month, the Drain Buster. It's $99.95, and they guarantee that they can clear the drain, no matter what sort of flesh, blood, or organs happen to be there. That's exactly what we need.
Yeah, I mean, come to think of it, that last guy we killed is really backing things up a bit.
Let's give them a call. It's 888-MEAT-CLOG.
All right, little Nilsson drain cleaning, I guess.
That's who I call every time I fucking drop a big deuce.
So that was Jenny and I doing that commercial. And before that, little Acid Bath, the fucking band that we were talking about. That was awesome.
Grave Flower.
Grave Flower. So very, very cool. And now we are in Mayhem. And Mayhem means some fun stuff, isn't it, Joey?
Oh, yeah.
Talking about some crazy tall tales. I mean, we have told in 103 episodes, now on 104, we have told some pretty crazy fucking stories in here. And it's amazing that they keep coming out.
There's been some that it's like, oh, why did I tell that one? Oh, whatever, fuck it.
And we've done some multi-part stories,
Yes,
the
sir.
Freddie Frankfurter series,
Yes,
which
sir.
caught me and CK in a little hot water. And
Take a fucking joke.
Me. It's me. He's still friends with you. He fucking defriended me.
that's true, yeah. Yeah,
fucking
that's
asshole.
why you sleep with one eye open over there in Danbury.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, we've told some really good stories, and so usually it's fun when we got some new ones, and we try to avoid telling each other the stories so that they're more fresh and you get a more honest opinion. And Joey, you said you had one that you wanted to share?
Yeah, I don't know what brought this one up. I think we were talking about something. Oh, earlier Pete was talking about flying, after 9/11 or whatever.
Right.
And it's funny because out of such a tragic situation as 9/11,
Right.
you talk about certain things in your life and you remember where you were at for those things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For me, like musician-wise, I'll always remember like when Kurt Cobain died because I was a big Nirvana fan at the time, and that was big to me, like Lennon was to my mom. And
Right.
Anyway, so the 9/11 thing, that's going to be another one that when it goes down, you're never going to forget that shit.
Right.
I don't think there's.
I know exactly where I was at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, in light of all that, where I was during 9/11 happened to be a pretty classic situation, which I never like bringing it up because I don't want to, it's a serious situation.
Right.
What that
Of
day
course.
was. But what I was doing during that time was kind of funny in hindsight.
Yeah, fuck.
So the night before,
You were jacking off?
right. I'm like 21 at this time when that happened. You know what I'm saying? We were pretty young. The night before that, I had gotten an 8-ball Coke.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'd also gotten a phone call from my friend Tiffany here in Bloomington. I was in Bloomington,
Right.
So she's like, "Oh yeah, we should hang out." And of course, I got this bag of Coke, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, we should hang out." So I'm at this girl's house who I had been friends with her for a while and shit. But so we're like getting fuckered up,
Right.
really fucked up, bad. And
Not in a good way.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a good way. But
Well,
not in a good way.
but not in a good
And
way.
me and her, like fooling around the whole time. Like, it's a pretty classic time. So I have to work the next day. Whatever. I'm pretty much sure I'm not going to work by this point. 'Cause we're just all fucked up.
I ain't going to fucking work.
But we got the TV on. We're like listening to music and shit and hanging out, and it's getting the sun's coming up and shit. As we all know what's happening about this point in the morning.
Exactly.
So her and I are in the middle of doing all this stuff, and we see this shit going on the TV. You know what I'm saying? You see the fucking shit.
Right.
But I swear it was probably another hour and a half before either one of us were like, hold up. wait a minute, this is some fucking for real shit.
This ain't a fucking movie, dude.
Yeah, we're like seeing it, but we're like, oh, we gotta do this line and do some other shit.
Not in your right fucking mind
it was
at
so
all.
fucking crazy. And like it literally took us a couple hours before it dawned
That's
on us
fucking
what the hell
nuts,
was
man.
going on.
Wow.
And then, you know, after that I fucking went back to my place and along with everybody else sat there staring at the TV,
Right,
watching
like,
all
what
shit.
the hell is
and
happening?
I did go to work that day. I worked at Qdoba in Bloomington.
Right.
I did go to work that day, but holy shit, like, it is fucked up because it's like, oh, man, everybody's like, you'll never forget where you were on 9/11. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I won't forget where I was at.
Forget that fucking shit.
Yeah, I don't usually like to tell that story because everybody's, like, trying to be all serious.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Right.
and I'm like, yeah, it was serious, but for a second it wasn't.
It wasn't serious at all. Like, this is the whole, like, whatever, that shit's on TV, don't give a fuck. And it's like, wait.
So, yeah, so I'll never forget 9/11 when I
That's
was
fucking
funny.
crazy,
doing
dude.
some coke with a
Hell
girl.
yeah. Doing some coke with the
Now,
girl.
CK, you said you had a story to tell, but I'm guessing it doesn't have to do with the girl and cocaine. So
No,
you go ahead and tell your story, though.
This goes back to like 87, 88, where I started a job for a company which I still work for, so I won't give out the company. See, that's how I've been with this company 33 fucking years.
Jesus.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I was 18 and I had to go to the bathroom. So at that time in the store, there was only one bathroom. It was upstairs by the break room. So I go to the bathroom, open the door, and the bathroom had two separate sinks.
Okay.
Okay, so I walk in the bathroom and there's a guy nude sitting in one part of the sink with his leg in the other part.
Wow.
Washing himself.
Jesus Christ.
And he's,
He's just straight up whore bathing in both sinks.
oh yeah. So obviously he's
Wow.
homeless, and he's doing, you know, the Our Father, and
Oh, my
and
God.
I got to drop a deuce. I'm like, fuck, what am I gonna do? So I go down and get the
Oh,
store
man.
manager. I go, you got to come to the bathroom. He goes, he's like, why? I go, you're not gonna fucking believe me. He goes,
You
well,
just
I
come
go,
with me. Yeah, you ain't gonna believe me.
I said, you got to go. He goes, if you're fucking with me, God help you. I go, I am not. I said, I have fucked with you before, but I am not fucking with you right now. so we go up. He walks. He goes, what the fuck? I said, I told you I wasn't fucking with you.
Oh, man. Jesus Christ.
So, yeah, the guy was the homeless guy. Was taking a bath, and he
So good.
That's hilarious. That's fucked up.
you can't make this shit up.
That's fucking
Right.
hilarious, dude.
Yeah, that's yeah, I don't even know what you'd say. I mean, it's just there's
I
not
don't
much
know.
you could
And-
say to it, but excuse me, or I don't know.
Dude, that made me
No,
think
and
of
they-
something real quick. Like, fuck.
No, and they call.
Go ahead, dude.
They call the cops, and I guess when the cops came, he goes, "You can't arrest me. I'm Jesus Christ." And
Oh, damn.
Holy shit.
you know, and
Wow.
I didn't think later on how
Be telling that
Be a-
story.
be a-
Fucking.
or be a store manager dealing with all the shit that he dealt with,
Oh,
33 years
right,
ago.
sure.
So,
Yeah, now you're like,
You
been there
know.
so long. It's like, I've seen this before. I got it.
Yeah,
oh
exactly.
yeah,
Fuck.
oh yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Very good.
that made me think of something real quick, dude. I was at work one day. I was painting one of the places I work at. I was painting in the bathroom. Somebody has a bathroom. So this this guy. I was like, all right, go ahead, use the restroom, whatever. I'm walking around. I go back in, and there's like shit, like on this toilet seat, on the floor,
man.
fucking like on the bottom part of the walls that I'm painting in the fucking shit. And I walk in there, and as soon as I open the door, I can smell. I'm just like, what the fuck? I look around, I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me, dude.
That's
so I walked up to
nasty,
the store
man.
manager. I'm like, hey, look, this fucking customer, I know who it was. I fucking walked out. He walked in. He
man.
walked out. I walked in. He's like, yeah, that fucking guy.
Oh,
And he just like, he was a nuisance to the store like all the time, constantly. So I ended up
Oh, wow.
fucking having to clean this dude's shit out of this bathroom and shit so I could fucking goddamn finish painting. I'm like, this is bullshit, man. I didn't sign up for
Wow.
this. But yeah, it was. You know when you fucking open a door and you get that smell,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
something's bad. It's like, Fuck,
we got a
dude.
guy at work that fucking. I mean, I work in a small office, and right now with all this crap going on, I'm only there like a couple of hours,
Right.
a couple of days a week. That's it. And so I'm hardly there, and I work in a part of the building where there's like 3 people. Okay, so there's like nobody around.
Right.
And there's just 2 men on this side of the building, pretty much. So, the bathroom on our side of the building, I mean, when this motherfucker's been in there because he's like clearing the fucking building out. And it's
Hey,
like,
Michael, what
the
up?
bowl's all stained, and it's like, dude, like, holy shit. And he does this every day. I mean, it's like, if you get a shit at work, it's, like one of those, like, you didn't make it, like you can't wait till you get home or something like that. This guy like sets it on his watch, like at 10 o'clock. I'm going to go in the office bathroom and destroy the fucking bathroom for 20 minutes.
That's
and
great.
leave remnants behind. I mean, it's just fucking nasty, man.
Foul.
Dude, Corey
Very foul.
found out we had that hotel out in North Carolina.
Michael?
Yeah, we had, I swear we left, drove around for a little bit, me and Corey.
Right.
Like, I don't even know what we were doing, just cruising around like the neighborhood or whatever. But we were gone. Michael was in the hotel room shitting. we come back, and
Wow.
Michael's up on the balcony, which I was already surprised that he was
Is he
already
like
back.
smoking a cigarette, like a post
Because
shit?
usually he takes like fucking half hour shitting, right?
Right.
This time he wasn't even in there.
my
that long.
God.
So anyway, so we're still down in the car, like we're hanging out. I mean, it's got to be a good 10, 15 minutes, like before we
deuces it up,
ever,
bro.
yeah. And even by then, by the time we went
love
up
you,
in
brother.
there, fucking Corey I could tell he was about to throw up in his mouth, and I was like, yep. I was like, grab the weed, let's go back outside because we need to. You got to give it another half hour, probably.
Well, I mean, since we're telling stories like this, the best story of this of all time, we were down in Kentucky. I was in Low 12, and we were down there with Blessed with Pain, and those fucking road trips were epic fucking tales. But anyway, one time we went down there, and Juan from Blessed with Pain, their drummer, big fucking dude, we were in some fucking flea bit fucking hotel, and he went in and fucking shit in the bathroom and clogged the toilet. So he had to go up, and we were all like checking in. They checked in first. So while the rest of us are checking in, he's already gone to the room and shit, clogged the toilet, and came back to the front desk and told the dude who is foreign. I'll just leave it there. He's foreign. And he's all freaking out because he's got all these people here and he's, one person.
Right.
So he has to go run down there and assess the shit in the toilet. So we're all dying in the lobby laughing. We think it's funny.
Yeah.
So then he comes back and gives Juan the keys to a different room because he couldn't unclog the toilet. So he puts him in the room, another room.
Right.
So they went in that room. And so again, there's a group of us trying to check in, but this poor bastard's running back and forth. He lets him go to this other room. They go in there. He completes his shit because apparently he wasn't done.
Get the fuck out. Don't tell me he clogged another fucking
He
toilet.
clogged the toilet again because he came down and he told them. and this guy's like, "What you eat? What are you eating?" He's like, "What do you mean? What am I eating?" He's like, "How do you clog 2 toilets? You've only been here 10 minutes." And we were dying. I mean, it was before the YouTube era.
Yeah.
It would have been
fucking
so
great,
funny to get this on video. So
my
anyway,
God.
I'm not done. So he clogs 2 toilets. The guy gives him another room.
Stop
and
it.
basically told him, just don't call me if you clog the toilet. Like, don't poop in there, So what they did was, so they go in the third room, and it was all cool. But what
fucking
happened was,
ridiculous.
in the back and forth, they
Right.
realized that the second room was open, like the door wasn't locked.
Oh.
So they went in there, and Wes was involved in this. And so, Wes, if you're listening, I don't think I'm going to get you in any trouble, but they were all in there, and they were wrestling in there, like jumping
In
off
that
the beds
fucking-
and throwing each other into the walls. and
That's
stuff.
great, dude.
They were wrestling in there for hours. It was going on because me and Les were in our room just chilling.
Right.
And these guys are in here like beating the shit out of each other, throwing each other on the
destroying
bed.
this
Yeah, it's
room,
pretty
all
funny.
fucking rock
and
star
Juan
stuff.
pooping in the third toilet, but apparently didn't clog that
Not
one.
that time. Third time's the charm.
So hopefully, we didn't do any permanent damage to the
that's
hotel,
fucking
but it was
hilarious.
funny. Now, it's funny, we tell stories like this, our Beavis and Butthead side of the show, and then we break away, Chris, on Saturday.
Yeah, we got a little serious.
And we did an interview with Dr. Catherine Ramsland, who's on every fucking true crime documentary you see nowadays.
She
from
deserves
20
it.
years
She's
ago.
got the fucking smarts to do it. Fuck.
Yeah, you see her from 20 years ago up till now. She's doing them constantly. She's amazing. She's a professor and author of forensic psychiatry. She's an amazingly accomplished person. I mean, it's unbelievable. We did like a 50-minute interview with her, Chris. That was pretty cool.
Yes, I was glad I got to be a part of this one.
Yeah. We have the episode coming up later this month. I know, Joey, you were pumped about some spree killers,
Yep.
man. We're going to be doing an episode on spree killers. And she wrote a book about them earlier. I think it was late last year or early this year. I don't recall. But we talk about that with her, and we go into spree killers and a bunch of good cases. And, of course, the Charles Whitman, hard to not talk about spree killers and not do that.
Like, he knew what he was doing for real.
That
man.
was some crazy shit off that book or that tower. That was fucking nuts. So we're going to actually do a whole episode on him.
Yeah.
He deserves his own, but he'll be mentioned in this one. But we got a 5-minute clip of that. Chris, you had suggested this because she's got
she's got a brand new book just came out. She said when we did the interview Saturday, she said it just came out this week.
Yeah, so it's
called,
out now.
How to Catch a Killer, correct?
Yeah, I believe so. So we've got about a 5-minute clip we're going to play for you guys from that interview. So check this out. Dr. Ramsland, you mentioned a new book you've got out or coming out called How to Catch a Killer, and it sounds very interesting. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, that actually just came out this week, and it is 30 cases of serial killers, and I have categories of the ways they were caught. One is forensic innovation, so in response to a case, there was a forensic innovation that helped to solve it. Another is, persistent, solid police work. Another is the killers making an error. Another was witness reports, because that's really what their downfall was. And then the final category is self-surrender, where they turn themselves in. And that doesn't have very many in it.
I'm sure that doesn't
they
have
don't
very
do
many
that
at
very
all,
often,
yeah.
but sometimes they do. And each case has, what happened, how they were caught, and then a takeaway. What do we learn from this? What do we, why this killer? So there's a variety. I think there are 3 females. There are some from other countries. Some are really gruesome. Obviously, you'll get the Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, Jeffrey Dahmer. You'll get all those cases. But there's some are unique that you might not have heard of, like the guy in Japan who was finding his victims on suicide sites, where he was finding young women who were asking for help committing suicide or for someone to join them in a suicide pact. He would say yes, he would do that, and then he would kill him.
Jeez.
So that was unusual, very unusual. He got 9.
That is kind of unusual.
Yeah, so I wanted to find not just the typical cases,
Right.
which you would expect to see, but also some really unusual, unique cases.
Very interesting. Check that one out for sure.
Yeah, definitely going to have to check that book. And you said it just came out this week, right?
Just came out. Yep.
Awesome. Can you let our listeners know how they can find out more about you and social media sites or whatever like that?
Yeah, I tend to stay a lot on Facebook. I manage several pages on that, and I have kind of a social life there, I guess. I let go of my website because it was time consuming. I'd rather be writing than managing websites. So let that go. And I have a few like Twitter and stuff, but I really do every day I'm on Facebook posting interesting things about crime or beautiful pictures or funny things that amuse me. And so I go on often. It's very easy to find me, and I say yes to, if there's some sense, like I won't say yes to anybody because obviously there's a lot of bots and stuff out there as well. But
obviously, right.
if you have any sense of being friends of a friend or something, I will definitely take you on. And I have a fans of Catherine Ramsden page. I have several pages, a haunted crime scenes page, if you like that kind of thing. So
I love the pictures of you with the fish that are bigger than you. I'd like to know how in the world you got to be really strong to be able to hold some of these fish up.
I actually, and that one was I think a 38-inch carp, and it was a big, fat, really, really huge. It was the biggest one of that summer. So I was the carp queen for sure that summer. And my hand was hurt, so that made it even harder to bring it in.
Gosh, wow.
But yeah, that's a big one year we didn't get, we only got maybe 20 inchers. So I used a Barbie doll and I put her here's my big fish.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, you are an incredibly busy person. It just blows my mind. And every time I turn on a true crime documentary and I see you, I think, my gosh, I don't know how you even eat and sleep, but very impressive.
I do. I'm one of those people for whom this whole pandemic hasn't affected my life that much. Because I'm always working at home, and that doesn't matter to me.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Ramsden, for doing this interview with us and Murder Metal Mayhem. We really do appreciate it, and you've always got some very interesting insights. And good luck with the new book and everything you're doing. And come back again sometime soon.
Okay, thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you, Catherine.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, she was a good interview, like you said.
She's really cool, man.
And her new book sounds fucking pretty goddamn amazing, like the way she said they put together.
Yeah, she's got so many books, man. It's unbelievable. So definitely check that out, How to Catch a Killer. She's got that Confessions of a Killer with BTK that she did that we've talked about with her. So amazing stuff. And we'll play more of that interview in the Spree Killer episode coming up later this month. And we've got a couple of other interviews coming up after that, the Whitman episode. We've got some others that we talked with her about, so we'll use for the future. But you guys on Patreon in the 666 Club will get to hear the entire interview. I'm going to try to get it up this weekend so that you guys will be able to hear that. So, all right. Well, very good. We got a killer cage match to get to tonight, guys. You guys know the drill. We got a list of 70 killers, 70 objects, and we got some listeners that will give us some random numbers so we're able to pair these killers and objects up. And Chris, we got some people to thank again.
Once again, thank you to Tommy Davis. Thank you, Gregory Leiter and Robert Milburn. Appreciate your shit. Thanks for being involved once again. Hell yeah.
That's awesome. And we got a good matchup tonight. Kind of an odd one, though, Joey. We got some two kind of mismatched guys here going at it.
Albert Fish and Ted Bundy.
Right.
A little maybe mismatched.
Yeah. I mean, because Fish is small and elderly.
Yeah.
And Bundy was in pretty good shape in his 30s. So, yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting. CK, I don't know what you think of this matchup, but the objects always make it good. And CK, what do we got in the cage with them to fight with here?
You got a 5-gallon bucket of hot roof tar.
Ooh.
A cattle prod.
Okay.
And the variable's going to be
wow.
An 80-year-old lot lizard in heat.
Long hauler.
Oh, damn. 80-year-old lot lizard in heat, Chris. That could be interesting, huh?
I just want to say Maine lizard.
I know.
Lot lizard in heat sounds like Jesse's next album, right?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. For real.
Absolutely.
Trucking. All right. So what do you guys think? Chris, we got Fish and Bundy.
Oh, man.
In a steel cage fighting with a 5-gallon bucket of hot roof tar and a cattle prod with an 80-year-old lot lizard around just wanting to get fucked. What do you think?
I think, me personally, I think the fucking Fish and the lizard are about the same age.
Right.
So, like, maybe he's just like...
You don't think Bundy's going to try to bang the lot lizard?
Nah, he not until after Fish kills her.
Oh, okay.
So Fish kills the fucking lizard. I think Fish is gonna kill the lizard.
But who's getting that cattle prod, Joey? I mean, that could fucking get interesting.
Now, in my scenario, heads up, 1-on-1, Bundy's just going to whoop his ass. I think.
Well, yeah,
right, yeah, 100%.
But since we have some other things in the ring with them, what I think is going to happen, I think Fish's way out of this is he's going to get that hot roof tar, and he's going to fucking get Bundy to fucking get himself stuck in that shit. He's going to fucking...
Oh, right.
And then whenever Bundy's stuck... That cattle prod's going in his ass because Fish
and up his own ass too.
Yeah, Fish would enjoy the shit out of it.
They're probably going to go ass to ass with the cattle
there you
prod.
go.
One of them a lot more willingly than the other. Now I also know that since
ass to ass cattle prod,
since Fish is kind of sadistic, you know what I'm saying. I think part of his sadism is going to get that 80-year-old lot lizard, and he's going to make fucking her stuff her cunt into fucking Bundy's face because Bundy liked hot bitches.
right.
Bundy, he didn't like ugly bitches. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He didn't like ugly bitches.
Yeah, he didn't go for that. So I think that would be almost as repulsive to him as anything else.
Oh wow!
I mean, but even banging the dead.
Yeah,
that's worse than banging the dead.
Yeah, to him, that's worse than banging the dead.
Wow. All right, well,
goddamn, I got nothing, dude.
CK, what do you think, dude?
It's kind of funny because I was thinking along the same lines as Joey. I'm going with Fish.
Going with Fish, all right.
I'm going with Fish.
He just outsmarts Bundy, apparently. So
yeah, he's like the George
crafty.
Foreman from like. He's like the George Foreman from like 30-something years ago.
Yeah,
yeah, he's just very elusive, the upset, the underdog, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know, like you, Chris. I mean, I can't top the scenarios. So
if I could cash me, just the way he did that, I'm just like, well, you win this battle, sir.
So there you go. That's what Killer Cage Match is all about, just silliness. But thanks to the listeners for picking those random numbers. We appreciate that, guys. So, all right. Well, I think we've done. I mean, we've told quite a few Mayhem stories tonight.
Pretty decent Mayhem segment
good
tonight, folks.
Killer Cage Match. And I think we're ready to hit that fucking outro.
Fuck it.
I ran it so hard, straight through his throat, and then I stood there, watching him fly. The fast blood spilled was the blood of the bird. I had to wipe my smile away. I was not yet a man, nor was I a boy, but still I made that.
All right. Amon Amarth, first kill. Some Viking metal to fucking end the night out. How about that?
Those guys kick ass.
They are. All right, bumper music tonight by Acid Bath, Accept, and, of course, Amon Amarth. Did anyone pick up on the thing that each band has in common? I wonder if any of our listeners did. I told you guys about it.
I think they all have a snare drum.
All have a snare drum. That's like the Maury, the Who's the Dad show. Right. Look at, he's got ears.
Yeah, like,
okay,
what?
that fucking narrows it down. Jesus
Good looking
fucking
out,
Christ.
man. Fuck. Yeah.
For Christ's sake. Oh, wait, there's a kid with no ears, that might be him, That's fucking ridiculous. So, that's funny. So, of course, they all start with the letter A.
Fuck
Very
yeah.
good. It's like Sesame Street here with metal bands.
Oh, wait, that's counting that one. Shit.
Yeah, it's got to sound like the count.
Thanks for coming in again, Joey. Always good to have you around.
Fuck
And
yeah.
Good to
Oh,
hear
yeah,
that
man.
you got stuff going on, and good luck in South Dakota. You two road tripping should be interesting.
I'll find out tomorrow if I'm going to be on the Tyler Hadley episode.
Yeah,
so I
right.
can talk about it. But if not, then I'll be back soon. I know.
That's good. And you guys driving or flying?
We're driving this time.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only, like Matt says, it's only like 8.5 hours where we're
Oh,
going.
okay.
Yeah.
That's not
So
too
I mean,
bad.
it's a haul, but it'll be cool. Like,
Yeah, we're gonna
Okay.
figure 10.
yeah,
Sure.
we're going on a road trip, and our buddy Squatch has a fucking Airbnb like 5 minutes from the venue.
Oh,
It's got like
nice.
Yeah,
2
we're-
living rooms, foosball table, pool table.
Yeah,
Cool.
so we're gonna be fucking living the high life
Yeah,
with Squatch.
yeah.
Thanks, Squatch.
That's awesome.
Hopefully, Trash Dick fucking comes up and fucking rides with us too. So.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Of course, CK's intro music is by who, Chris?
Oh, I don't know. Was it Crysis?
Possibly, or the Bee Gees, one of the two. Murder Metal Mayhem intro music tonight by who, Joey?
Low 12.
There you go.
No, it's low motherfucker.
It is Low
Motherfucking
Motherfucker 12, yes. All right, my former bandmates in Low 12. Go to spellboundeffectsandart.com for their incredible online catalog of silicone body parts, hands, feet, heads, fingers, and maybe some boobs, Chris. And maybe if Tony heard what we said. Tony still owes us the nipple belt. He acknowledges it. He will
He
send
don't know
it.
us shit. He gave us plenty.
I know, but he says, I owe you that nipple belt, man. I haven't forgot. But he's a busy guy. But he makes some really great stuff if you dig the dark and disturbing. So go check that out, spellboundeffectsandart.com. And, you know, one thing I wanted to mention, too, we get some of our listeners that like to follow my writing stuff. And I did a story last year for Christmas called The Wreath, which was a very dark story. And I thought I would do one again this year, but I thought, well, Christmas, I already did that. Halloween's a little predictable. Why not Thanksgiving? So I'm going to do a really fucked up story on Thanksgiving or for Thanksgiving. It's going to be called The Last Supper, and it has nothing to do with what people think that means.
It's about getting his bird stuffed.
One last time.
Space docking.
No,
what?
it's a dark, disturbing tale, and we talked before the show that I'm going to do some promotion for the month of November with some excerpts from some of my stories that I thought would be cool to share in a section of the show for the month of November, and then maybe give some books away, do stuff like that, and then I'll do an unveiling of The Last Supper that week of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool.
You know what would be super unpredictable for Halloween? If
What's
you
that?
wrote an uplifting, enlightening
There
story
you
for
go.
Halloween.
There you go. Yeah, that might be too strange. Yeah, the man with spots is the only story.
To AA.
Do what?
Then we're going to take you to AA.
The only story I think I've written with really a happy ending would be The Man with Spots, but
Right.
it involves somebody a creature tearing somebody apart and stacking them in little tiny pieces.
But it worked out in the end.
But it was a happy vigilante
I
type
was just
stuff.
getting
There
it.
you
Yes,
go,
I was
there
just
you go.
getting ready to get there. You're like, hey.
That's right, The Man with Spots. That
And
was
the guys in the Black Crypt fucking did a great job, like doing.
They did.
Reading that.
They read that
dude.
story on their show, and that was
And
the
they did a
story
great
that I
job.
had that got entered into the contest in 2018, I think it was, or 2017. TNT the network put on a contest for horror stories, and there was 11,000 entries, and I made it into the top 35. So that was really cool. And that story was The Man with Spots. It's in Creation of Chaos 1. But so if you dig scary, crazy shit, you could check it out, PeteAltieri.com, or go to Amazon, order stuff that way. But if you buy it from me, I'll sign a poster and sign it if you want that. And if you do it on Amazon, you don't get any of that. All right. Well, we appreciate you guys listening. We keep dominating, and listeners keep fucking pouring in, and we really appreciate that shit. So
Yeah, keep spread the word, motherfuckers. Appreciate it.
yeah,
Hell
for sure. Chris, what do we got? Comments
We
here.
got Randall Emmons says, you guys fucking shred. I love this show more than any other podcast I've ever heard. And that's very humbling because
Yeah, that's awesome,
I've
man.
heard a pretty good one. Thank you, dude.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. Thank
thanks,
you.
There's a lot of good podcasts.
There is.
There are
And
some really good ones.
That's very humbling. Thank
Yeah,
you, dude.
thanks,
Keep on
brother.
listening. Spread the word. Fuck
Oh yeah, Joey.
Melinda Rogers, 79. My birth year, 79, represent.
Yeah.
She commented, I've been listening to you guys for a month now, and I'm almost through listening to all the episodes.
Wow.
It's perfect for my hour commute to work, and keep up the great work listening from Colorado.
Nice.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That's
Get it,
awesome.
Colorado. Smoke some for me, too.
CK.
Metal for the Gods commented, "You guys should do Ed Gein. He's the sickest of the sick." Fuck yeah,
Oh,
he is.
yeah.
I don't know about the sickest of the sick, but he's fucked up.
He's
Hell yeah,
definitely
He's fucked
fucked
up.
up.
He was
Yeah.
an innovator.
He was definitely an innovator. Fuck yeah.
He was, yeah, and I'm sure
we will get to,
Ed
we
Gein
will get
is
to
going to
Gein,
be gotten.
do our
Yeah.
piece on
I
Gein
can't
at
wait
some
because I'm
point.
going to bring my Gein dirt.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
that'd
it's
be
still wet
cool,
too,
dude.
ain't it?
Like, yeah. And, like, two of my favorite things, like, I want to bring my Gein dirt for the Gein one, and then eventually you do the Ramirez, and I'll bring something, couple of my letters from
Oh
him.
yeah,
Fuck yeah, dude.
that'd be
just have him
great.
fucking hanging out.
That'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
great.
The
All
Gein
right.
dirt, though, man.
Yeah, the Gein dirt is a fucking good one. Chris, what about that last one, dude?
Corona Love 666. Fuck yeah. I love Corona too. It's a good beer.
It's a good plague.
It's a good plague.
It's a good plague.
Corona Love 666 says, I really love the Joel Rifkin episode. I always loved his case and how he got caught with the license plate. And fucking
Yeah.
dumbass.
Yeah, for sure. That was a good one. Thanks, Corona
Yeah,
Love
thank you,
666.
Corona. Fuck yeah.
All right. Don't forget to check out murdermetalmayhem.com to listen to all the episodes and that bonus stuff. Go check out our YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter at Get Your Murder On, and like us on Facebook. Join that 666 Club. Support the podcast, patreon.com/murdermetalmayhem. Of course, all this stuff will be linked to in the episode description, so check it out. We appreciate the support very much.
Only $3 for the 666
That's
club.
right. That's a fucking deal.
It's a trace, man.
Don't miss next week when we talk about the crazy case of Tyler Hadley and how he killed his parents and partied with their
Fuck
corpses in the house. Gotta love that. All weekend, fucking just partying, man. That's just crazy.
That's what we do.
Dude, I wish I was there because I could have been partying and gotten pussy every night for sure. You know?
I know where it's
Yeah, I
at.
know where your mom is, bro. Just don't worry about
Don't
it.
worry about it. I'm getting pussy tonight.
I have not 100%, but I'm debating to do a karaoke song of a band that I fucking have expressed how many times I've hated. But I think I might do it this week for the Tyler
might be
Hadley
worth it for
episode.
that.
It
Yeah.
might be worth it,
Yeah.
so we'll see. All right, so speaking of karaoke, though, got a new one this week. It did take a little time because I did backing vocals, and this
Ooh.
one was a little bit of...
Full production karaoke.
It was a little
Goddamn,
bit more
Pete.
than the
Sometimes
usual.
I feel like you really like these songs.
Oh, I love doing them. They're hilarious.
No, I think you really like these
I love
songs.
the song. CK's got to hear it, and he thought it was funny.
Oh, that was fucking
So
hilarious.
crank this shit up, and until next time, keep one foot in the gutter.
Don't use a gun, but keep your fist punching some pedophile freaking rapist down into the ground.
Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note, but don't worry. Be happy. In every life we have some trouble. When you worry, you make it double. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Got no place to lay your head. Somebody came and took your bed. Oh, don't worry. Be happy. The landlord said your rent is late. He may have to litigate. Don't worry. Be happy. Look at me, I'm fucking happy. Yeah. Don't worry. Be happy. fucking number. Why don't you call me? I'll be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Ain't got no cash, ain't got no style. Ain't got no gal to make you smile. But don't worry, be happy. 'Cause when you worry, your face will frown, and that will bring everybody down. So don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Now there's this song I wrote. I hope you motherfuckers learn to note for note like good little children. Don't worry, be happy. Listen to what I said. In your life expect some trouble, but when you worry you make it double. Don't worry, be fucking happy. Don't worry, be happy now.
Mother, man.